Okay, it's 6 o'clock, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Roll call.
Camille Harnick.
Kate Wells here.
Nate here.
John Meyer here. Roland Knapp here.
Paul Connor here.
John Thompson here. Number 2 is approval of the agenda. Before we do that, we've got just a long agenda and have a lot of items, so if you have something you wanna talk about, do that in citizens wishing to be heard. I know I've allowed a little freedom for discussion, but we don't wanna be here till 10 o'clock. So, and if you have something you wanna talk about with us afterwards, that's fine. We'll call up different people for different, agenda items, to speak on them, so, please limit your comments to that section of the agenda. So approval of the agenda?
I had a thought on, tabling number 25. Just wondering, cause the economic development, and we were going to work with the planning committee on, this, Tuesday, October 7th, to talk about a lot of the same issues. So I just wondered, would it save us time and we'd be a little more prepared if we just either table that for a special board meeting this month or wait until next month and roll out?
Yeah, that
Kind of be in sync
doesn't matter to
together.
me. I had a meeting with Frank, and a developer was asking questions like what incentives are there.
Oh, okay.
And so I don't really know how to answer that, because I can only answer that for what I might think, but not for the board. So if we wanted to talk about that just briefly,
Sure.
maybe even give some ideas or input to those groups who'll address that, I think it's good that we're involved in that part of it. That's really all
Right,
I'm
that's why
trying to
I'm
accomplish.
thinking to unite everybody a little
Yep,
bit more.
yep.
Okay.
Yep, so maybe we can give some direction and then they can run with it. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Okay.
Any other questions, thoughts? Need a motion in a second.
Second.
Motion by Nicole, second by me. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval of meeting minutes.
And I just had one thing on the housing. We met and, we've decided we're gonna meet, once every 3 months. So I just wanted to bring that up. That's going really well, I think, and, we had one resident, said that the dryer's not working quite right, so when we meet again in 3 months, we're gonna make sure that that got taken care of.
Good.
So,
Yeah, thanks to that group for all they're doing.
I make a motion, we approve the HHR committee September 4th, regular board meeting September 4th, housing authority September 18th, zoning meeting September 22nd, planning commission September 22nd, and the wastewater meeting on the 18th.
Okay, motion by Nate, second by Nicole. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Number 4, citizens wishing to be heard.
Well, I'll start out then. Recently, you guys had a fire commission meeting, and, what is it, across the board, 5,000 increases, was that the proposal, or
No.
what was it? No. Any increase?
Not for municipalities.
Okay. Anyway, my concern is when I went on the board in 2018, the EMS account had around 48,000 in And as of your last meeting, I think it was just over 640,000. Anyway, so I would have a little problem with any increase if they're putting that kind of money away into a savings account. Now, if you're getting up there 2026, that account could go over $750,000. At that point there, I really think there's enough money there. The fire department has had 2 previous instances where they had misdoings or mishappenings with chiefs, whatever. It had been over the last 20 years, whatever. I really feel that, with that kind of money being handled, you really should be getting a certified public accountant or someone to do the books there, because you're dealing with a lot of, that's just one account. And you're talking all the assets of the fire department with the equipment and everything. I really think you need a third party to be in charge of that there. You're dealing with a lot of money. So that's what I would really be looking at.
Okay.
Okay?
Thanks, Steve. Anyone else? Okay, number 5, vouchers.
Just on the last page, just wanted to remind for anybody that might not know it, for the Gaga game, the lamp posts, and the balls for that, that's on here, but that all comes out of the fund, so
Yep.
it's not, residents aren't paying for it.
It's not a net expense for the village.
Right, and then the router, we actually have one, so we can return that, so that'll
Okay.
save us a little bit.
Good.
I make a motion to approve the voucher list.
I'll second.
Motion by Nicole, second by Danielle to approve vouchers. Any other more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any motion carried. Treasurers and water report.
Nobody has anything, I make a motion to approve the treasurer's and audit reports.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Number 7, Economic Development Committee report.
Good evening, everyone. Our committee applied for the capstone program at the University of Wisconsin. I'm sorry to say we did not get picked. The old saying goes, one door closes, 2 doors open. Had someone approach me about architect from Janesville who wishes to participate in this. And he is going to, in fact, be at our next meeting on Tuesday next week, and we're going to start doing some preliminary planning ideas for the park. The second, so that's, great, there's some expense to it, but I'll take care of that. So there's no expense to the village in that part. Number 2 is, we've also found a different department at the University of Wisconsin who seems to be interested in maybe doing something with our downtown, so, as I said before, the one door closes and 2 open up, and I think we're very fortunate to have these people, possibly coming and helping the village of Footville. Also, yes, I'd like to, the village, the Economic Development Committee was very much involved in creating the TIF district, and, we've talked, ever since we started that project, we talked about what we wanted up there, so I talked to Sandy our committee will meet, with theirs, attend their meeting and give us, we'll give them some of our ideas that we've, come across and so forth, so, that's about it for economic development. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
And I have.
Yeah, go
something
ahead.
to-
I'm sorry, can I ask, I'm sorry.
No, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Do they do the capstone each year? Is that
Yes, it's
something?
done every year, and what happens is the students get to pick their projects, the professors don't. And,
So if
you
we
know what?
wanted to apply next year for that, we could?
I wouldn't apply for it because I don't think it was a proper program for us.
Okay.
I think they do more landscaping than they do actually, you know, have a program. Because they're actually doing a project in the city of Janesville at the, not the convention center, but at their visitor bureau and stuff like that, so,
Mhm.
you know, I think maybe we went the wrong path there, but, we gotta straighten out, so. Yeah, I did have one other thing I wanted to bring up. Oh, yes, apparently we have now started, we have the, nonprofit for the park, Friends of the Park. And, Daniil will probably give you some more of that, but, we would like to ask for our money from the village account and put it back in our account if we could, because it was really donated money, it was never raised by the village, and we'd like to have access to that if that's possible. Thank you.
That is the least amount I've heard you ever talk.
Want me to go up a little more?
So, yeah, we are in the process of setting up the nonprofit, bank accounts at Orfordville, and I've talked with Amber and Stacy. Stacy's gonna help to make sure that we do everything properly, cause this is all new to us, so, and Amber too, so we would set up, you know, the two accounts, veterans and then, the new nonprofit that we're doing here. So that will be, next week that we'll be doing that. And, the scoreboard is here. I say that for this meeting, or this economic development, because it's not really through the parks. So really exciting, and I know everybody kind of seeing it, and, Footville Heating and Cooling, they had a large, part of getting us going. I just kinda wanted to say, who's going to be on the signs. We've actually got it filled. We made $17,000 towards the park, but we do have to pay for the sign and, a little bit extra, but, so we have Carrier, Footville Heating and Cooling, John Canal Memorial Fund, Footville Meat Market, Donald Erdman, Corey Milky Construction, Andy Siles, Mosher, Insurance, A&H with Footville Friendly Cafe. So I appreciate all of them for doing that. So, we should be getting that up probably in, the next week or two. Of course, Chuck Duncan said that he's going to come at no charge and he's going to help put it up. So him and his grandsons. So that's all we're saying. So that really is going to give us some funds to work on our next project, whatever everybody thinks is the most important, so. That's all.
So,
Thank you.
so we're gonna get the money out of the capital funds for the, out of the village.
Well, Stacy's gonna check, cause I think we have to probably ask the accountant if, you know, how you take money out and put it somewhere else. This money for the scoreboard, yeah, that's easy, because they've all made the checks out to the Friends of Footville Parks Incorporated. So, Amber said that's easy, but yeah, the veterans, we have to check.
That was donated for the parks,
It was, but we just wanna make sure that.
and it should have never got put into the football bank account. So
Well,
that's
it had to get put somewhere, so, yeah, I understand what
Yeah.
you're saying.
But yeah, I'm hoping that it's a.
We just need to make sure we
transition, so.
keep that Veterans Park money separate.
And I talked to
That's huge.
Amber, and I told her that that has to be separate
Yeah.
from the parks one.
Yep.
So she said, that's no problem at all,
Yep.
so we're gonna
Yeah.
set it up separate.
John, could I add one thing?
Sure.
If you don't mind. Something that, came about is, Jason Scott, who's from from the state of Wisconsin, has told me that there are grants available for bathrooms. And we're looking at putting a new bathroom at the park. They can give up to $50,000 towards it in a grant. We would have to put up about $12,500 of that matching funds for that particular thing. The point is, one of the most important things in these grants things is, you need to allocate money, preferably ahead of time sometimes. Because then one of the things on the grants that he uses is there available funds, meaning has the board put money aside for these things if you do award it to you, and so forth. And I'm looking at the fact that we no longer have a police department, we're getting quite a bit of savings there, and I like to see about 20 grand of those savings put into account for that project for next year if it's possible. And that's up to the board to do that, but that's something that would be a good thing for us if we're getting a grant, okay? Thank you, I'm sorry.
Okay, number 8, planning commission. Do you have anything you'd like to report, Sandy?
Well, we're still working on the same properties as before, and, Fuzzy, I don't remember his real name, did he call Stacy? No. I'll try to get a hold of him. He was gonna make a date where he could be there to clean up and ask for some help cleaning up. And, Corey Belkey has not mowed or finished his building yet, and we gave him till, October 31st, so. The mowing, I don't know if the village wants to do something about it, or what we wanna do.
So he has until October 31st?
To finish everything.
Should we send another letter, or has he had enough
I
letters to?
think we've sent plenty.
We've sent a
Plenty.
letter
Okay.
every month
after our
for,
meeting.
yeah, every meeting we send a letter,
Yeah, we've communicated verbally and in writing.
yeah. And Robbie has planted trees, and so did Huff, the plumber, he planted trees too.
Yeah.
And Corey stays the same, unfortunately.
It's gonna take a bush hog, not a mower.
Yeah.
Yeah, as tall as it is now.
So after October 31st,
Yeah.
we're gonna follow
Then-
through with,
I think we should.
yeah.
Right.
So that, pay the rental on the bush hog and
Mhm.
Oh, I have one more thing. There's a new business up the street, a lawn mowing business, yard business. Do they need any permits?
I don't know. I don't think so.
they got their own business, I think A&M ever got any special permits, their own business, they're just the business.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's
home-based
a,
business.
he's ag there though.
I'm sorry.
We did the merit for that.
I
thought I had everything turned off. Sandy, are you talking about Arch Lights?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know who they are,
Yeah,
but
the
there's
lawnmower
trucks
business.
and stuff there all the time now.
Anything else, Sandy?
No, I have nothing else.
Okay. Parks Committee?
Just wanted to say the park lawn looks great, is Mike, thank you, Mike, he's doing awesome. Steve's been doing all the weed eating, and, it looks so nice. Steve Sagan is gonna get a quote, because he thinks he can do it really reasonable, to put some weed killer down. When you first walk into the park, it's just all clovers, and there's no grass there anymore. And, he said for the golf course, they do it $100 an acre, which will be unreal, but he's not sure if they'll do it for us for that, but he's gonna get a quote, so, we'll let you know about that. And, we have 3 additional park lampposts. Some of the residents thought it's still a little dark on one side, so, they're here, they're put together, thanks to David. And of course, Chuck Duncan is going to put them in again, so. And then, while Chuck and I were there, we were looking at, oh, no, I'm sorry, that's my next thing, so. This one is, the cameras. So I'll need to know what direction you guys wanna go in. I've been trying, or the Parks Committee's been trying to get the cameras up, but it seems like it's a little more complicated than we thought. I called, someone who works for a security company in Janesville for 20 years. So he came out, he said, yeah, it's a little harder than you think. So he gave me a price of $1,000 to install them. So I would take them to him, he would get it hooked up with the router, bring them out and install them, so. Unless, you know, anyone else knows more about, I don't know much about it, so that's,
I mean,
I
I
just
put 'em
thought
up
he's
in-
an expert, so I'm gonna bring him in, but.
Yeah, I put them up at the church, we can look and see if there's a way to make the router talk to them. I mean, I don't mind reading the instructions and see what's possible, so I'd be
Okay.
happy to do that. And if that's not something I can do, then we'll have to talk about that, that's funds we'd have to approve. So,
Okay, yeah, so if you can kinda let me know, cause he's
Yep.
kind of hanging then,
Yep.
so he's the only person that I could think of.
Yep.
Okay,
yep, I can probably schedule that next week.
great, thanks.
Okay, I'll connect with them, we'll figure
Okay.
that out.
That's it.
Okay. Number 10, Bill Department Public Works. You gentlemen have anything you wish to report?
I do. DNR is done with their testing in the borehole of well 2. I've had CTW come in, put the well back together. We had chemicals come in and have that delivered today. It's good to run. We got 2 safe back keys. We're probably looking at maybe Monday or Tuesday, of starting that up. Just for the purpose that, the diners shut them 2 days, and if there's any stirring of the system, which has happened down that area, but with just 3 running, everything is settling down there. So that's why we've had to flush numerous times to get that cleared up more. Dave, I don't know if it was brought up, but Dave's gone in his training for his water license. He takes his test in October. So it's moving along good. I've cut back my hours quite a bit. But when training comes available to, like, a big locate comes in to teach him how to locate the utilities. And I see we got an opportunity to do a meter change out here soon, so. But things seems to be going real good with him training. He catches on real quick. That's pretty much, I help out the guys when they need a hand, when they come in, so. Last thing we did was the Yamaha tractor, wasn't running, so we got that up and running again. We started on it, changed, do the fluids and that. One thing I might wanna bring up, I don't know if Mike's brought it up, but that van needs new tires before winter. We'll have to do that, get that done. You got anything else to add, Mike?
Yeah, that, our mower, the one wheel pump is bad. It's at Johnson Factory now. We ain't gonna get the part in until like the middle of November. This would be $2,500 to $2,800 just for that wheel pump, to be put back on and buy it and all that. So that's something you wanna, if you wanna wait, but they could put it maybe in a corner somewhere in a building until maybe after the first of the year, but I gotta hear back from you guys what you wanna do about it.
Get it done.
Yeah, taken care of. It's good,
Yeah,
you know?
we'll just get,
Yeah, we need it, but
do we need to vote on that?
Is that regular maintenance of vehicles?
I think it's just regular maintenance.
And that's something that's in the budget. We account for that, so.
Well, I'll call him tomorrow then and tell him, and just fix it when it comes in then?
Yep.
You probably do that with your tires too for the van, just go get them.
Oh, okay.
Just go get new ones, cause that's gonna be all included.
Orford.
Alright.
Rating at well three. Got third quarter sample in, so our rolling average right now out of the last 4 quarters is 4.5. The 228 is what's fluctuating, and there's nothing to really do about that. The 226 is biological. You can do stuff to get that number down, but it's the 228. So it was 5.4 third quarter. It was 4.2 in the second quarter. First quarter it was 5.2, and the quarter of last year was 3.3.
So what causes that, or what?
228, it's natural occurring. I'm still waiting from the results from what the DNR is going to recommend. They're still compiling data from years back to try to give us a good route to go.
And I just had one thing on the signs, to remind about the stop signs and no parking and all those, the signs are all still in the garage.
Oh, okay.
Maybe a time, I know you've been really busy.
I'll have to have a spot where, I mean, I don't know where to put them, I mean, I'll have to have,
Sure,
or where
yeah,
they're going up, or.
yeah. The Parks Committee will get with you
Okay.
and let you know.
Anything else for the guys?
Good.
Okay. All right, number 11, tax incremental district map revision. So I'm gonna invite Al up to speak about that.
Yes, so we submitted our project plan and all the information that goes along with it, which, as Stacy can attest to, is quite a treasure trove of information. And in the first review from the Department of Revenue, they got back to me and said, hey, we don't mind if you connect the TIF with right-of-way, but they felt like, we kind of went a little bit too far on Galena. So so that gave us a couple of options. Either we remove the 2 large farm fields, which are Selks and Nobles, or we add parcels along Galena to make it more connected or contiguous, as they said. And I felt like that was probably the more appropriate path because of all the stormwater things that we've talked about with those properties. So we added a couple of parcels on the south side of Galena, and then in order to just kind of make sure that it was all contiguous, added a few parcels on the west side of Depot Street, in order to, again, kind of make that boundary completely contiguous with all parcels and not just right of way. So that was kind of the recommendation. John and I talked about how do we want to move forward. The DOR isn't requiring us to go through any additional steps. We don't need to reconvene the JRB or pass any additional resolutions, and in fact, we didn't even need to have the discussion tonight, but John felt it was appropriate to at least bring it to a public forum to say, hey, this is what we're doing and this is why we're doing it. So I put together that little memo for you that kind of showed the parcels that were included, and then the suggested motion, just for historical purposes. 5 years from now, when we're all rich and famous and there's new people sitting around the table, they know why we did it. So, and that's really about it. Once we've kind of all agreed upon that, as soon as we have kind of the new maps that reflect that new boundary created, we can submit those remaining few pieces, and then hopefully we're off to the races. So.
Anyone have any questions about that?
Well, how much would it be, put all that, Galena Street on both sides all the way down?
So, yeah, we could do the north and south. The only thing that, we want to make sure that we're careful of is again, there is a requirement is you can only TIF 12% of the overall equalized value. And from the original document to this, we went from, I think, like 6.98% to 8.18. So we still have room. If we added the north side of Galena Street, for example, maybe we'd be up I don't know, 10.
We'd be getting close.
This, having some wiggle room is a good idea, just in case something comes up. If you get somebody that's interested in developing a large tract of land that's not included in the TIF, you'd be able to add it in then. Unless I guess my thought would be, unless there's a real strong nexus to do that, then it's probably better to err on the conservative side, not knowing what the future holds, so.
And we can still address the stormwater issues on the north side?
Yes, we can, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Because we're within that
Within the half mile.
half mile of the
Yep.
two.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
which is pretty important stuff to a lot of people.
Yeah.
That we address those issues.
And the only reason I went on the south side instead of the north side is, there's a little piece of right of way, there's like a little stub where a road was gonna go. It looks like a road's gonna go to access, I don't know if it's Bob or Wes's property. So we would've had to jump to the south side anyways, because that would've left this right of way gap. So I thought, all right, rather than again, go forward with the north side and have them say, well, there's still a gap, I said, south side makes it 100% contiguous. So that was my logic.
Okay. Yeah, cause I was wondering, that drainage ditch here, where we got that, I wanna keep that, there's a
Yep.
ditch up to the north side of all that property that.
And carries all the way to Christmas.
Yeah.
Yep.
That would be a good thing on this water treatment.
I agree. I totally agree.
As long as we include that in it, then.
So we just need a motion to make it official that we change the map. Al's got that on the backside of his information page there. Someone wants to make that motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the new TID district map. Yeah, whatever motion.
Sorry, I thought it made it easier. Maybe not.
Motion to approve the revised boundary as presented at the October 2nd, 25 meeting, reflecting the boundary change to the provisionally reviewed TIF number 2 boundary and fire planning project plan.
I'll second it.
Motion by Roland, second by Neil. Any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor of revising the map, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So-
See if I can still make it to football practice.
Good luck with that.
All right, you guys don't have a police department anymore, so that's a good sign.
Take care.
All right, number 12, Nate asked that we discuss building a house a building to house pilot program at wastewater treatment plant. He had a dollar amount proposal for that.
We had our wastewater meeting and sewer meeting, the shed that, Rick Knudsen gave me a price for, I thought was a little high, Ron thought it was a little high also. I talked to Chuck Duncan, and Chuck's, has agreed to be our supervisor, I just need, 3 volunteers to help. We're gonna build our own, and it's gonna cost us roughly $1,500. This is temporary, I talked to Greg Richter, Greg feels it's smart because it is temporary. Why spend a lot of money on something that maybe not in use after 18 months? So, it's all right with you guys. Maybe we'll have a list of lumber and everything we need, and Mike and Dave, run to Menards, grab everything. And when we get a weekend or a Saturday or whenever, I can shoot out the email, and all hammers welcome.
We get a list of material. That deal with Menards, can we deal with Ace over here? They donate a lot to the village. I just didn't give them the businesses.
We just thought in our meeting that it'd be smarter just to build it ourselves. And Chuck said he'll supervise, he's not gonna lift anything, I don't blame him. Make us board members do some work, so.
So you think you can do it for 1,500?
Yep.
Do you want a little wiggle room, like 1,600, just to make sure we?
I'd like a lot of wiggle room.
Well, tell me what you want, Nate.
Well, we're hoping, Chuck figured with just the shell and the siding and the roof, and the floor in it's gonna be like 1,200, and we're gonna have to insulate it.
Mhm.
That's what's gonna be, insulation's expensive right now, so. I say you give me $2,000, we're not gonna spend close to that.
Okay, that's enough. Yeah, I just wanna make sure it's enough.
And that's still a lot cheaper than what Rick Coons would give us a price for, wasn't it, Alan?
Yeah.
Anyone wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the 3 volunteers, we gotta come up with 3 volunteers to build a shed ourselves for $2,000.
I got one citizen that said they're coming out.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by Roland, second by Nicole. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, number 13, effluent water sampler. Nate, I'll let you talk about that.
So the sampler's not holding temperature, right?
Yeah.
Temperature has to be between 0 and 6 degrees Celsius, right?
Yep.
And that's to stay in the DNR's regulations, or, you know, they have parameters, you have to keep your sample at this temperature. So we got 2 bids, 2 quotes, whatever you wanna call them. One was from Mulcahy Shaw for an ISO, I think it was an ISO 5800 sampler. I didn't bring any of that with me, but Mulcahy Shaw, price was $15,897. Which I thought was a little high. So I sent an email to Hawk, and Sean at Hawk sent me back a quote. It's pretty much the exact, it does the same thing. Cause it's gonna be inside, it's not gonna be out in the elements. And Hawk's sample blur price was $6,760.05. So we decided to go with the Hawk sampler because it's a saving of almost $10,000. And as soon as we okay this, Sean, we had him on the telephone during our meeting. He said he would come down and do setup and teach everybody how to use it for no cost. If we had his tech come out and teach everybody how to use it, it was what, $2,000, he said? So I think that's a pretty good deal. And then it'll teach everybody how to use it, and hopefully we can get another one, well, hopefully not soon, but we're gonna need another one, I imagine, for the outside too.
The one on the side though is, that thing is old.
Yeah.
It's been around.
Yeah, and the, I guess, the reason they have to do this is because it is so old, they don't make parts for it, correct?
Yep.
So,
Time to upgrade.
And it's 3 to 5 weeks to get it.
what was the lead time? Should say it on there.
It says ships in 3 to 5 weeks.
Yep. And this quote was only good till October 17th. So, and it does come with this power supply. We found that out. That's all I got.
I'll make a motion to purchase the sampler, $67.60.
05.
05.
I'll second.
I'll do it midway.
Motion by Roland, second by John. We should send a thank you letter to him from that to this time. Once he does that. I appreciate him being willing to do that, and save us money, so. Sure, sounds good. All right, any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 14, extended warranty for the new Kubota tractor.
The road on the top of one side is like 725 for 1 year and 1,300 for 2 years.
I don't think we need it. It's got a 2-year, what was that? 2 years?
2 years, just a bad.
And 5-year, I think it's 5-year on something, and 2-year on something else. I was gonna call Josh and run that by him. What the actual warranty is on it already. There's not really that much computerized stuff on it. Well, I think that an extended warranty would probably would solve.
I never
Hmm?
used it.
Well, it's just for the What is it, just for the powertrain?
Yeah. I think it's money not well spent. Yeah.
I mean, how many hours do we think this is gonna get used on a yearly basis? Any guess?
No.
More than the track loader?
More than track
Yeah.
loader, I hope.
100 or 200?
Probably, I'm hoping for 100 hours a year, anyway.
So we're not gonna use it heavily.
No, not heavily. It's just park maintenance and
Yeah.
going
So if we just do maintenance and take good care of it, it should last.
to, should. Yeah. I just don't think it's,
Because this is gonna, if we buy this is gonna expire in 2 years, right?
yeah.
And we may not ever need it.
Exactly.
And so it's just money down the drain if we don't need it.
I don't feel that we need to do it.
Anyone feel any differently or strongly that we should?
I feel the board.
Yeah. I'm not huge on
I'm not either.
I think we're all on the same page then.
Okay. And we'll move on to number 15. Roland was talking to me about this, about training for DPW staff on village equipment. The jetter was what we were talking about, but I'm thinking the leaf machine or other things, we need to figure that out. I called Chuck Duncan. He's gonna recheck with this guy that, knows how to run the jetter and see if he's willing to come down and do training and figure that out.
The leaf pack, that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yep. I just think knowing how to run it, and familiar with it.
Cause you know Mike, how to run that leaf pack.
Is there anything else we need training for? On
Or
equipment?
anything else you want?
I don't think so.
And David's getting his training from Mike, so.
Right.
Part of David's goals were to receive training on the new Kubota tractor and the new truck once it arrives.
Right.
Snow plowing practices and
Right.
all of the elements, so.
And you were gonna help with some of that one, yeah.
Yep.
Cause that's just the jetter, nobody really knows what they're doing with it out there.
Yep.
And we hired it done twice, and I think we don't need to, we got
That's a
the
waste
machine
of money.
sitting right out here.
Yep. Chuck did say that the guy that he's talked to said that, that piece of equipment will require 2 people to operate. And it is something that needs a lot of, respect to use, because you can get hurt if you're not being careful. So, but yeah, Chuck said he would call and talk to his person, he said tomorrow, and get back on that. So, and then we can set up a date for that time. So. All right, okay. Number 16, water issues at Foothill Friendly Cafe. So you guys had a lot of emails, hopefully if you wanna come up to the table and talk, I don't know if you guys or any of the water guys do.
Right here.
Did you guys have time to read all those emails?
Yeah,
I wrote down what
they
you
were
got.
sent to us.
That's what's in this.
I think it's page 37 in our packet.
Yeah. It has pictures like this.
There's only 112 pages.
Yeah, there's only 112 pages.
This is 5 separate occasions. And each time is over 3 hours before we have clear water.
I know Tammy's done some research, and we technically can't give credit for water. Let's see. I guess I'm hopeful that we can just resolve this and not have this issue. So I guess.
Will well 2 solve it?
Yeah, that's the variable that's been the whole time this has been going on. 2's been down since April 15th. So with just 3 running, I think it pushed all the sediments to the lowest part of the system, which is downtown there. So anytime somebody opened something up at a higher rate, it would stir it up. And then she would call, and then we'd go down and flush. So, sometimes it took a while to get it to clear up. So, operational wise, when everything's back to normal, 2 and 3 kick on at the same time when the tower says, hey, I need more water. So with that being said, 2 will push the water up towards the tower, which would keep that clean. So, yes. So like I said, that's why we're gonna fire it up either Monday or Tuesday when she's closed, because I'm sure it's gonna stir something up again. We'll have a hydrant open. Hopefully clear everything out and it'll be good.
Good. Hope, did you have anything you wanted to say in regards to this?
Well, I mean, I would like for this to be made right, because we shouldn't have to run our water for 3 hours to clear out the system.
Because what's the difference if we let somebody fill their pool up? You know, they get refunded some.
Yeah, they get sewer credits.
Right.
Yeah, well, they get sewer credits, yeah.
Yeah, we can't do
You
water.
can't do water.
Yeah, that's right.
But when it's part of a flushing operation, I shouldn't have to pay for 3 hours of water and sewer when I can't even use it. I can't serve people. We have to go buy bottled water. We have to do all this stuff, and we can't serve that. It's a food establishment. I mean, would you guys drink that? And it would be different if it was just a toilet for one flush and then it was fixed, but it was 3 hours, at least 4 of the 5 times. I think one time was just shy of 3 hours. And it shouldn't take that long to get clear water. And I called every time it happened, right away. We're the only business that is open at that time on that block. And we're the only ones that use that much water. Someone in their house isn't gonna notice it if they're only flushing one toilet here and there. But we're continuously using water, and so we're the first ones to notice it.
I know we've had yellow water on the same days, we have, let it run a few minutes and it clears right up.
Right, because we caught it before you ran your water and they had it cleared out, so you just had what was between the road and your house in the pipes.
Just let it run.
The majority of the time it is 7 in the morning that it was happening to.
Yep.
I think all but one of them was right around between 7 and 7:30 in the morning.
Like, we did that repair at that house next to the tavern there. How long did you have to flush that?
Hour on each hydrant, on 2 hydrants.
See, and that was just shutting 2 valves in a block. So, I don't know if there's
Are
no
the
record
hydrants
to the
fully
maintenance of
open?
The valves, when the last time they were turned, there was a buildup on the valves when you worked them, and it just, like I said, it's,
When you guys are flushing, are the hydrants wide open?
No.
That could be
you don't
part of
wanna
it
cause
too.
a stir up anyplace else.
But if you're not forcing it out, then how are you cleaning it up there?
But you're running probably about 200 gallons a minute.
Half or more,
Yeah, and the wells can only do 425 a minute. You open it up full blast, you're gonna be draining the tower down, and it's not gonna clear up any quicker. You're just gonna stir up more sediment. You're running for 4 hours, 5 hours till it's clear. Then you'll be jumping all over. So it's just, at the rate he does it, it's nice and easy, takes a little bit to clear it out, but you're not screwing with anybody else.
I would say let's see how this well 2 does.
I think I'm
Give the
hoping,
option,
I'm
clear
hoping that
itself up.
that's gonna take care of it, cause everything will be back to normal operation.
So you're gonna flush and as you open that well up?
Yeah, we'll fire it up, we'll open a couple hydrants and see what we got.
You know, Monday and Tuesday while the restaurant's closed.
Yep,
You might have yellow water right away Wednesday morning
but it should be just the line clear out.
from being stirred up.
So when you call Hope, are you calling here or are you calling?
I've called both. I've called here and I've called Mike's cell phone and Jeannie called, was it your cell phone?
Yep.
One of the times.
Yeah, we go out right away.
And I've checked in with the office every time. And I've checked in with the office about receiving a credit because Mike, when he was there, said that they should check into getting a credit because we had to run the water for so long.
How would we know how much that, you know?
The water meter reader tells you that.
Okay.
It's able to pull an hourly read of how much water was used.
Wish there was some way we could take this,
Yeah.
but I don't know what it is.
Like, could we look historically at some bills? Like over a long period of time,
Well,
and see
it'll-
if there's an increase?
It all depends, because it depends on how busy the cafe was, how much water they
Right.
would have used. But if the water meter reader would have been used to see how much was used on those days, which now it's probably too late, but I think it only goes back 30 or 60 days.
Unless we give her some sewer credit for what she run down the drain to get it cleared up.
Yeah, I mean, if
What
it
we
was,
can do.
if it was me or you or anyone else, we'd wanna do that. I just,
You just can't give water credit, you can give sewer
No.
credit for what she's run down the drain, so we can.
yeah.
So how do we know how much that is?
Right.
Yeah. That's why I was saying if we could look at some, maybe some
Yeah.
bills
Yeah.
and get an idea, maybe historically, over a long period of time, maybe a couple of years.
I was gonna say, if we look at 2 years worth, I would think that we're gonna see the difference on this next billing
Which
year.
is like you do anybody for pool fill.
Right. Yeah.
You take the average.
There you go.
Just take the average, see what the difference was.
So could the office maybe look at that and kind of come up with a number and then discuss that with Hope regarding the sewer credit, and then we can, you know, have that discussion if that seems acceptable to her. And we can discuss that at our next meeting and offer that.
Is there somebody who could go down Tuesday night and run the water, so it's cleared by Wednesday morning? If they flush them on Monday, Tuesday,
I can probably have someone go in, or I'll have to go in and do it.
just so it's clear Wednesday morning, you know, when you start up.
Yeah, hopefully if, you know, like Mike's saying, if they've got that well open and they've flushed the hydrants and everything looks good, but if you do have some groundwater, it'll only be a small amount. You know, if it's anything more than that, then I think you should call them, have them come, address it. And then we can figure out a credit and try to compensate for some of the expenses we have.
I agree 100%. Everybody up Gilbert Street has had groundwater since I lived here. Are we opening up a can of worms? Every resident, every time they have groundwater, they're gonna want a sewer credit on their bill? Because Cox's have groundwater, Sharon Harnick has groundwater all
I
the
have
time.
groundwater.
And I
But I mean-
100% agree, you shouldn't have to pay for it all, but we're opening up a huge can of worms.
But I don't run it for 3 hours.
No,
Like,
no,
you
I
know
know,
what I mean?
but-
That's my point, like, it would be
You have to
completely
do it for
different if I
so
just had
long.
to open it up to clear it out for 10 minutes, so be
Yeah.
it, that is fine. But to run it for 3 hours is,
That's a little excess.
it's way excessive, we never had this issue before, just this summer, 5 times.
Well,
Yeah,
that's been
well
all the
two,
time.
well two hasn't
Well
been
2 's
rehab
out now.
since 2011, when they built the building around. It's the first time that pump's been pulled since then. So you're talking 14, 15 years.
That's my only worry. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
I
all for
understand.
giving them
It's a good
credit,
worry.
but that's my worry is, are we gonna have residents on Gilbert Street now coming to every board
Right.
meeting saying, I have brown water, you gave these guys a credit, where's mine?
I think, the only thing, I think, get that well two going and let's see if this cures the problem.
I'm
Yeah.
all about giving a credit, but
Well, we can come up with a solution to get the site map on the numbers.
Yeah, let's
that's
see
what I
if,
would do.
let's see what's there, and then we can talk about it. And I understand what you're saying, Nate, I mean, you're right, that could be a major issue.
when, can't think of her, I mean, his wife said, used to get teacher, Dan Cox, that was up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
clean.
And he came into the board when the board meeting was at the other building, and he set a Pepsi jug, 2 liter
I
Pepsi
remember
jug,
that.
and we didn't do anything then.
Yeah.
So they don't drink their water, they might,
Yes.
but they're, they don't drink all its
I'm just saying, you know, that's my only issue.
I like times, let's see what the numbers are.
Let's get information, we'll put this on the next agenda, and then we'll go from there.
Hopefully, well, clears it up.
Any other discussion on this? Okay, number 17, unauthorized access of fire hydrant on commercial drive by contractor working in the village, discussion on how to address this matter. Were any of you able to come in and watch that video? Did you feel like what we were seeing was them hooking up to the hydrant?
And it sure looked like it to me.
Yeah. It
And
looked like
if
it
that
to me
wasn't,
too.
if that wasn't a hydrant that they were supposed to hook onto, if it wasn't metered, to me, that's theft.
Yeah. Cause the meter was up at the water tower, correct, Mike?
Yep.
Yeah. And they were supposed to go up there and get water.
It was that company from Belvedere.
Yeah, Precision Drilling.
So if they get to that fire hydrant, how many other ones without cameras did they do it to?
Exactly. So when I sent an email off to the lawyer, I asked a lot of questions. His answer was basically a couple of things. One, we can report the incident to the sheriff's department. I don't know if we wanna press charges or anything like that. That's a misdemeanor, unauthorized access. He gave me the statute. The other thing we could do is contact the drilling company, and I have the project manager's phone number as well. So I talked with them about a couple things, and we can try to address it directly with them first. And say, you know, we have this video, looks like you guys are accessing this hydrant. We don't know if it's metered or not, but the meter was up at the water tower. And go from there.
Got
Right.
that contact them first.
Before I come.
Yeah, and that's my preference too, those are the two options the lawyer gave.
How do we know how much you took out? How do we charge it?
Well, I think those machines I asked, when we were at the fire commission, I asked Joe how much a machine like that would hold. He thought between 200 and 300 gallons each, and they had two.
But it was about a 4-minute video.
Yeah. Yep. So I don't know how fast water goes through a hydrant.
Oh, it was leaking out of the hose too.
Leaking out of the hose too, yep.
It's like they were spraying their lawn.
After Mr. Patel contacted me about that, I went down there and I took lots of pictures. There was water running down the street. So I have some photos and video myself. So. But that's the problem, we don't know how many times they fill their machines. But at the least, I think they need to pay for some water and probably need to, send a letter of apology as well, so.
I would agree, but what kind of price are you putting on that? We gotta put some kind of price to it.
How many times they fill it, I mean, you charge them maximum,
See what they, and see what they
If they fill it
do.
Yeah.
3 times, it holds 300, that's 900 gallons of water they get charged for.
Well, I think in our latest PSC rate case, we had some information on bulk water. So I think we have what we need to even discuss with them. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I
Isn't it like
could call
55 bucks too?
and
Okay.
yeah.
maybe perhaps they will, flat out admit it, be able to tell you how many times that they filled it.
I would hope they would,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, we're trying to limit comments from
Yep.
the audience, but if you have something pertinent, Steve, I'll allow this
They're,
one.
they should be able to track to the job what they charged to do that. So
Okay.
they should have records.
Yeah.
So they'll
that's-
probably invoice Brightspeed for that.
Hopefully they'll be able to just be for
Mhm.
coming and just tell us what they used.
Can our first contact be not a lawyer, so we're not spending more money on this?
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, I think we've talked to him enough to find out what we should do. I think we should just go to the business and talk to them. And I'll probably start with the actual drilling company, and if I don't get satisfaction there, I'll go to the project manager, which is a separate company. So, that sound good with everyone?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, number 18, Footville Fire Department unauthorized access to fire hydrants and non-compliance with PSC tariffs, non-payment for water used. And I did not put this on the agenda, so if someone did, they can speak to it.
But what you're talking about there, John, in the last item, is the same thing the fire department is doing, is taking unmetered water when they're filling their tanker truck from a fire hydrant. They just had a fire that they went out on 9/28 in Center Township. And I'm sure they filled their tanker truck again when they got back. Did they turn in any kind of water thing there to the village?
Probably not for that, because that's within the fire protection district and they can fill up their trucks.
And not from the utility, if it's going out of the utility area.
But that's in the fire protection district.
If it's not
Oh,
in the
might could add a
utility,
little
the water
something to that.
utility area.
Yeah,
What
every
bill
time
owns
there's a
the fire
fire,
hydrants?
the water used for that fire.
We pay for that.
Wait a minute,
I
Dave.
just-
Wait a minute, Dave. Go ahead.
Whenever there's a fire, the utility can bill the person or the homeowner's house that caught on fire for that water used.
Right.
That's billable.
And
We just
that's-
gotta know what it is. Examples in Beloit, we had that huge target fire at the old DPW. It was like 2 million gallons that were billed back to that property owner.
And I think the fire department is charging them for all that water and not paying for it themselves.
Yeah, it's all
That's-
gotta be
that's
reported
pretty much
because it's
that.
water loss, and they don't report it.
Right.
So I'm looking at this rate file thing that David handed out, and it says use of hydrants for fire protection service only, and such quantities of water may be determined for the purpose of extinguishing fires within the service area, which fits in center of the service area. And this service shall also include water used for testing equipment and training personnel. For all other purposes, the meter or other rates set forth, or as may be filed with the Public Service Commission shall apply. So there are 3 exceptions. So did they fill for a fire? Do we know that?
It depends on whether it's an emergent scenario or not.
It depends on whether it's what?
An emergent scenario, if they are fighting a fire within the village, they have the ability to open the fire hydrant to fight the fire, and they turn in estimated gallons of use. Okay, if they fill the tender truck, generally that's not in an emergent scenario. They're filling the tender truck when they fill it.
So it should be, well, just like you were saying, they need to report the gallons they take. They're not reporting.
They are to report all bulk water that they bulk volume.
How many reports have you had from the fire department on how many times it filled up?
And all training water has to be reported, don't have to pay for it.
No, they don't have to pay for training water.
But they have to report.
Or
how much water they
emergent
use.
firefighting.
You gotta account for the
But
gallons.
everything else falls under bulk water, and that they need to pay for. But it's not being reported, so.
Says how much, Mike, you said there was so much unaccounted water in this.
You
when
can't
first
go
started.
over 15%, otherwise the DNR will put you in action and the Public Service Commission. They want it down low.
So there's a lot of unaccounted water going out of this village, that we need to get a handle on.
All the flushing water that we do, that's all written down.
As non-revenue bearing.
Right.
And that's recorded,
That
I
will
mean,
go on
that's
the
metered as
PSC
well.
report at,
All
in the
water
spring.
usage, except for an emergent scenario, should be metered and billed, or if it's training, it's not billed, and if it's to flush, it's non-revenue, but it's all recorded. And we are seriously lacking in reporting.
Do you guys know how many occurrences we're talking about?
We get no records.
Have you asked questions?
John,
I'm just asking. If you've asked any questions of the fire department.
no, I was requested to contact the PSC, which I did, and have found out this information.
Okay.
I've also spoken to past employees, and they used to be billed, and they used to pay for their water volume. I don't know when that ceased or how, but it ceased. And forgive me if, for being presumptuous, but the fire department should be well aware of the PSC tariffs and what they're responsible for.
Okay, so I did talk to the fire department and ask questions. And I was told there were two occurrences. One, they filled up the tanker truck. That was for a fire within the fire protection district, which according to this, I think that's allowable. So even the fire in center's in our fire protection district, that's allowable to fill the truck up. So one occurrence was for that, and the second occurrence was for training.
So they've only filled up the tender truck twice in 12 months.
We have, the station has, we fill at the station. We have a line inside, and we pay for our water at the fire department, because that's already been brought up too, that people don't think that the fire department pays for their water. We do. We have a hose in there, and we refill our trucks there.
I asked Mr. Woodstock that one day, and he said, well, it's only a 2-inch line in there. And every time we go out there, we get orange water up Gilbert Street.
And no offense.
So that's telling me you guys don't like to use that 2-inch line.
Well, and no disrespect, ma'am, but the person that we're speaking of sat right here in the board meeting and stated that he opened the hydrant, dumped 10,000 gallons of water, and then filled the tender truck with 3,600 gallons. So it's hard to think that the tender truck would only need to be filled twice in a 12-month period.
That's Monkey said right there in Bolton.
So then what do you wanna do? How do you think we resolve this?
They're charging the fire department, they've got to account for the water they're taking. That's bottom line.
Do we want them to use a meter to do that? Or
Yes.
they have to do
Yes.
it from a location?
No, that's
They
what's
can get hold
required.
of Mike, unless it's nighttime and it's an emergency. Otherwise, you get Mike, he can go out there, meter the water, meter what goes out for flush. And when they turn it over to the truck, they can meter what goes into the truck. Mike or Dave are the only ones authorized to open the hydrants.
What was that, Stacy?
It says in the tariffs that the hydrants can only be opened by DPW employees.
Personnel.
So if they're fighting a fire, can
That's
they open
emergency.
it?
That's an
It's an
emergency.
emergency situation. But if they're training, like
That's
they're
not-
training Saturday,
That's not emergent. But they just have to record the volume of gallons that they use. They don't get billed for that, but they still have to turn in and record the number of gallons that we use, because we're held accountable to account for the volume of water that goes out of the
So they're
village.
training on Saturday, they want to go fill the truck up, they get hold of Mike, he takes a meter down, and he meters it onto the truck. And it's accounted for. That's all it is, accountability. It's what hasn't been in this town for many years, is accountability.
Yep. Yep, I just wanna make sure we're clear on what we're asking them to do.
So how many gallons come out when you guys flush a hydrant, when you flush them for 3 hours?
The system typically.
Not metered.
The system typically uses 50,000 gallons a day. Okay, so when we're flushing, we're setting the 50,000 aside. And whatever the pumpage is over that gets reported in as, flush to waste on the monthly water report.
So if I'm continuously running my water for 3 hours while you guys are flushing the hydrants for 3 hours, my water is included in your waste then?
It'd be minute to what is pumped.
I'm just saying.
And it's an average. We can get a good average of what's used. It's right there, all in black and white. Every day we write down how many gallons the system uses.
So if there's a training and we know that the tanker is 3,600 gallons, all you're asking is for them to let you know that the 3,600 gallons were used?
It has to be reported.
Okay,
It's-
so that is
it's all
completely
about the
different than
water
having
loss
someone
and
else come in and meter it.
Really report.
Yeah.
It's not trying to jump on anybody individually, we just want it accounted for.
Meter, not meter.
If the tender truck is already full and they use that for training, yes, you can clarify that's 3,600, but then they go and they refill, that's another 3,600, correct?
Well, the tanker is already full right now. So
Okay,
if we
but-
refill, it would be 3,600 gallons
Right,
if we
but-
filled it at a hydrant.
If you filled it at a hydrant, which they're not to be doing.
If you read the fire protection service charge right here, we are allowed to use the hydrants. We are allowed to train on them. We are allowed to testing equipment on them.
But the hydrant is located at the station. Is there a
Right.
hydrant at the station?
Yes.
See, that's the
There's
one.
one
It's not every hydrant.
This doesn't say a certain hydrant. It doesn't say one hydrant.
It does say very clearly in there that only.
On the
No.
fire protection charge, what we're discussing
Okay,
is
but
what
there's-
covers the fire department.
No, all of the tariffs cover the fire department.
This is what you're talking about though, the training, the filling of the stuff, fighting
No.
fires.
No, Laura.
Yes, it is. And this is what you guys are passing on to the consumers as a charge for fire protection service.
So why don't we do this? Why don't we ask the fire department to use a meter on Saturday? I will make that phone call. Request that they do that. We can email and get clarification on this page right here. Because I would like to understand exactly what we're talking about with this page and how the PSC would like us to go about it. And I agree.
But that
If we
isn't the
need
only-
to account for the water, we need to do that.
I don't believe that's the only page that was the response received from the PSC.
I think this is the rate case that, this is the rate file that David Wells handed out at the fire commission.
Okay, but I did send on to you the response that I got back from the
Yes.
PSC. And it is clearly stated in there, only utility personnel can open a hydrant. Okay, except for in the case of an emergency, which is completely understood. But even then, the amount of gallons used is to be estimated and turned in.
Yep.
Okay,
So
So
that
leave
is,
it at
that
that.
is fine to
And I
have it
think that's
estimated and
reasonable.
turned in. That's,
So then do we want it turned in monthly, quarterly?
well, quarterly would, I mean, obviously we bill quarterly, so monthly would be great, quarterly would work, as long as we get the information for every billing cycle.
So I think we need to come up with, policy or whatever you wanna call it, as far as recording and, the frequency of it.
Well, if it's a fire and emergency, they don't hook up to a fire unless Mike, or Dave are there to verify it. It's not gonna be their word, not the fire department's word. Oh, we only took this many gallons of.
You have to record through PSC.
Say that again?
Is there a time limit on when you have to record through PSC?
That goes in the yearly report, it's due, was that, May 31st? It's gotta be turned in by. long as it's done. That's the main thing.
And Bob, we just can't account for it because we received no documentation at all, so.
See, like, there was a day there last week, it was 87,000 gallons used in one day. Where'd that extra water go to? I'll make group something.
Was that the day they repaired the curb box?
No. There's no water loss on there, hardly at all, was there, Mike? Because the water main was shut down.
I know, but then they flushed. For how long
Oh,
afterwards?
that's accounted for, I got that written down in the report.
Okay, I'll make a phone call, make a request. Mike will be able to provide a meter.
Yeah.
For them for Saturday. Okay. All right, any other discussion? Okay. Number 19, discussion, review, possible action, Cookville Fire Protection District budget approval. Again, the amount from the municipalities on this budget was not increased. Basically because Center said if we did increase it, they would not pass it. So we just left it what it is. It looks like we will probably, the Fire Protection District will operate at maybe a $17,000 deficit. We've got other equipment that is not, in the best condition that could be replaced, so. But they do have funds to do some of that. So we just need to decide if we're going to approve this as it is. And again, our contribution will not change. Oh, and I think we talked about vehicle accrual. Center's not willing to allocate any funds to vehicle accrual. So all the money we see in their account, that's essentially what that's adding up for. The Fire Protection District is gonna do similar to what we've done with Mr. Dupuy and talk about equipment, age of it, condition of the equipment, what will need replaced, kind of figure out a schedule, try to plan some of those things. Center would like to take the approach that if we do have to purchase equipment, that they take out a loan for that. I don't know if we want to do that, but that's a different discussion. So, but that's what I found out about vehicle accrual accounts. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thanks.
So the EMS account is actually a vehicle accrual account.
Yeah, if they would need to buy a truck, money would come out of that, that's their operating funds too.
So why wouldn't that be in such an account?
Because they don't have, I don't think, a vehicle accrual account. That's not been provided for a long time. You know, again, maybe to Steve's point, is there an external audit that happens with the Fire Protection District? I don't know that makes sense. So we can suggest that next meeting.
I would have thought that actually we could do that.
It may be, and I'm just not aware of it. I don't know if Steve knows anything about whether or not they do an audit. by a
Yes, they
third
do.
party.
The fire department's audited.
What?
The fire department is audited.
By a third party?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So is that a motion?
Just need a motion to approve it.
Ooh,
But-
Who's I would make a motion to approve it, assuming that there's no major change.
We have a motion, do I have a second? all the way at the bottom, the population total, you got that 52,414, and then evaluation for property, that's 38,437. That ends up being what our total is over there on the bottom right. 90,852.
Can you repeat that, John?
90,852 and 42 cents. We have a motion. Does anyone want a second? Just to move the discussion along, I'll second it. Further discussion?
I'm sorry, it's probably in front of me, but the money that they have put away, that they put away every year, is that in here? Is it?
So there's vehicle accrual down at the bottom. You'll notice that line's totally blank. Has been for years. And I think they'll run a deficit next year, especially when they add in wages.
So I think the last time we talked about the vehicle, they had talked about just the fact that there wasn't anything in there because the cost was so great that I don't think they really knew where to begin to start. With all the rest of the expenses, there wasn't really anything to put in there to make it amount to a hill of beans when it comes to actually having to purchase a big fire truck.
Yeah,
Was the gist that I got out of the conversation.
Even if they purchase a used truck, they're probably still looking at $800,000 to $1.2 million. So that they have a lot of money in that one account is not even enough to do that. If they have to replace the ambulance, they're anywhere from $325,000 to $375,000. So. It's not a bad thing that money's there, because then if we have to buy a truck, we won't have to come up with as much. So. And I think their newest truck is 2012 model.
I believe so.
Right? So, which is why the fire department's gonna talk about equipment, to do it. Any other discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Number 20, capital improvement plan discussion with Jason Dupuy.
All right, if I sit at the table here?
Yeah, please come up.
If anybody has a copy of the draft CIP report. If you have any questions, I can answer that. We would give a little brief summary, kind of get the highlights of it, do that as well. There's a lot of information in there, a lot of new information, I think, for some people on the board here. So, yeah, here for questions or whatever you'd like.
Jason, you wanna go over the purpose of this?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, capital improvement program, kind of alluded to it a little bit, it's a long-term planning tool, so it's what I like to call living documents. So in this case, it's a 5-year capital improvement program, so we looked at the years 2026 through 2030. looked at the different departments here, looked at wastewater, water, the treatment plant, parks and roadways. Came up with a list of priority projects, some cost estimates to that. So really what you're looking at is, like I say, it's a short-term plan for next year and kind of a long-term plan for the 5-year outlook. Each year, you should revise, review and revise this plan, push it out another year, check off the projects that have been done, move forward new projects that may be needed to add to the list.
I would add, it's a tool for the board to use to decide what your priorities are. These are suggested priorities. It's pretty overwhelming, to be honest with you.
Right.
So when you look at those numbers, you're like, oh my goodness, what are we gonna do? Well, first of all, you talk about it and you decide what if any, you're gonna try and initiate on. So we don't want you to feel like, oh my gosh, you have to do all these things. It's just a document to help raise awareness of some of the long-term things that need to be discussed and a plan put together on how to address. Shoulders down, everybody.
And just maybe a little bit of how this report is laid out. You've got your summary in the beginning, then each division is broken down with a little bit more detail, and then you have some maps in the back, some exhibits, and then we get to.
We can print them
Yeah,
bigger.
we can print them bigger. Or I can forward you the color version. I think you have the color version as well, which is a little bit easier to read. But then in the back, starting in Appendix D, we list out some funding opportunities and what types of projects would fit within those grants or loan opportunities, low interest loan opportunities, the types of projects. And then in Appendix E, your project listing by year. And that's where you can see some of the dollar amounts there. Like I said, it's a little overwhelming to start with. There's a lot of projects listed on there, so it's the tool to start, prioritizing how you wanna tackle some of these options. Just right now in 2026, there's a couple of plans or studies that are listed out there. And some televised cleaning of the sewer system. We heard John talk about that, we talked about that earlier, about possibly getting the training, and doing some of that cleaning, jetting in the house as well. And then after that, cost by year, then it just breaks it down, project by each division in there.
And Roland and I have kind of had some time to look at this ahead of time, and I know one thing we talked about, and Stacy provided the information for like what loans do we have outstanding and when do those get paid off, and can we kind of, as we think about these projects, can we kind of time some of them, like when we're paying one thing off? So we're not just piling on. I don't wanna do that. I think that would be hard for everyone. But like if we pay off all the equipment that we bought this year, next year, then that's gone. If the year following, I think, either the year following or the year after that, someone else pays off. Edward Street is gonna get paid off in the next 6 or 7 years. So, it just depends on how aggressive you wanna be and what needs priority, because I know Nate would probably say we've got a whole bunch of priorities down at the water treatment plant. We've got probably 3 or 4 roads that might need some addressing sooner rather than later. We've got other roads that I think we don't need to do anything with. Like East Center, Church Court, that's my road. I don't think we need to do anything to that street. I think it is in fine enough condition for the long term. It's not really got any damage or issues, but if you go in that block between Church and Edward, there's a big dip there. we have some issues there that maybe we need to do that little section. So, that's a whole bunch of information, and, $5 million or whatever the total amount is or something. It's some crazy amount.
Right, and if you guys want, this is the draft version, so if you guys wanna take some time and maybe digest some of this information, if you have any questions, as it comes up, we can bring back the final version at next month's meeting.
Now we can knock one thing off your list.
Yes.
You got a new effluent sampler.
There you go.
Yes.
2028, instead of 2025.
Yeah, so some of the information on here, and that brings up a good point, is some of this information is coming from previous either wastewater treatment facilities plan or the water tower inspection report that has happened this year. We took our best guess at the priorities here. It sounds like, obviously, if something fails, that's an emergency, you'll have to push that up, and that's why I say it's a fluid document, it's not set in stone in what year you need to do this work.
The other thing we talked about was if we're applying for a local road improvement plan grant and we don't get it, delay the project, apply again the next year, and try to get it, because that could be up to 50% of the cost. And that makes it a whole lot more palatable. I'd rather pay $200,000 than, $390,000 or something.
And having this document, having this document will help you earn more points for some of the grants as well.
I have a question, so, the grants sound like a great idea, but are these the kind of grants that we have to invest money into to be eligible for the grant?
Most of them are, so if we enumerate or list a project that is somewhere in the out years, and the focus of the state is, okay, this year we're gonna focus grant dollars on a project that is already fits what you're looking to do, you apply for the grant, and most of them are, you get reimbursed. So you would borrow for the money and then get reimbursed by the state. So there isn't any special extra money to go after the grant.
Okay. You know what I'm referring to, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if we had you guys write the grant, is that $1 cost for us, I assume? Or would that go into the project cost?
So we've done it both ways, right?
We would do our
typically-
best to roll everything into the project cost and have the grant pay for it.
No, what I was referring to, well, Mr. South, we had applied for some grant and we invested like, what was it, $8,000 or some dollars?
Yeah.
And we didn't end up getting the grant, but we
Yeah.
just invested the money. I just wanted to know if we were in that kind of situation.
Yeah, I think that was a stormwater study grant. But I think what you guys are saying is that if we have this in place, that makes it more likely.
Yeah, so when you have a plan, that's an approved plan, a lot of times these grant applications want you to include what type of budget or what type of plan they have, and so having this document only boosts your score, the score of your grant applications. And that maybe will put you into the acceptable range as opposed to a different project.
I was thinking of roadway grants,
Mhm.
that's what my response was to, but I understand what you're saying.
Right.
So there are some, so it's, a lot of communities will, before you submit for a grant, the board will approve the submittal of the grant, and then we can answer those kind of questions up front that, hey, this is an investment that I think your chances are whatever, but you have to put this money in and you may not get it back. Then you can decide, is it worth it? So they're not all the same.
Okay.
There's some that there's a little bit of a risk, that there's some effort that has to go into.
Yeah.
So you bring all those to the board so they can decide, do you wanna move forward or not?
Did you include C Street in this? Have you done that? I haven't looked at it closely enough to know.
It was mentioned in here.
You don't have them all
Okay.
memorized, Jason?
Well, I know we went back and forth a few times on the roadway projects.
I don't know if it was
If not,
fine, but it was mentioned.
if not, I will make sure it's in the
Yeah.
final draft.
And like, in our
Don't see
planning
it in there right
commission,
now.
in our planning commission meeting, we're talking about the tax district. If we're gonna replace water and sewer on C Street, Wes had an idea that I've been thinking about too. Would that be a point in time that if we had tax district dollars, could we fund storm sewer to go down that road and drain water out someplace and help address some of these water issues over here? So it's like things like that that might determine when we wanna look at a project, or what we wanna do, or how we wanna prioritize things. You know, certainly once tax district dollars are there and we're able to get houses built, but then we might say, oh, we need to address this stormwater issue, or whatever it is we're doing. That may affect the order in which we wanna do these things. Because that, again, that's dollars that may help make it more palatable to do a project.
So I think what did we figure out, 26, depending on Janesville Street?
Right now, we don't have any roadways in 2026. We talked about applying for a local roads improvements grant in 2026, and that most likely would be Janesville Street. We talked about that grant application is due at the end of October, and they don't announce the awards of those grants until the following spring, so that'd be in 2026, but you have up to 4 years to do that project if you are awarded that grant funding. So we don't have any roads in 2026, just budget-wise. I don't think that was really in the cards at this point when we talked about it. So we do have, I know there's a couple of proposal items coming up after this, but we did have Janesville Street then in 2027 at this point. And that was something that John and I talked about, that if the grant money was awarded, then that would be a street.
You guys have some, didn't you say something about, getting these sewer lines?
Yeah.
We do have the televising, cleaning and lining for both sanitary and storm, that's in 2026.
Yeah, we did talk about that, Roland, that if we're gonna do that street, we might as well televise the sewer. Make sure the sewer's good, if we can just reline it. If it doesn't, you know, if it's good and we don't have to do anything, great. But not redo the road and then find out a year later we should have. Worked on a section of the sewer.
So I don't know if we just, maybe I'm not even reading this correctly, but it looks like everything that's listed in here, if we need to address C Street, it looks like everything listed in here ends with C Street. So.
Yeah, I don't see C Street in here, and I know we
Yeah,
talked
I
about
think-
it, so it did not. I apologize.
Yeah,
that it's not
everything
this
is
one on the
listed,
copy.
basically, ends at C Street, so end of per section to C Street.
Yeah. And we want that street in this.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure that I get it in before the final report here.
Yeah. You guys, any questions for Jason?
I don't think, like I said, I think we just need to make sure that what we wanna focus on, like C Street needs to be
Yep.
documented in here.
Yep.
And perhaps there's some on here that we don't feel needs to be done.
Yeah, and as Roland and I talked about, we have just a few roads that are heavily traveled. And there's other roads that don't get much traffic that are gonna be okay for a while.
Right. Some of those roads were pushed out to the year 5, 4 and 5, and as you reevaluate next year, they might get pushed another year.
Yeah.
But there is some, I would caution, there's the break point, where you defer maintenance or defer working on a street for so long that it no longer becomes a easy resurface street, or, the cost becomes a reconstruct. So, just caution on that as we look at different types of projects, like everything, right? Defer maintenance and it becomes a little bit more expensive in the long run.
Sure.
And again, nothing is cast in stone. You can revisit it typically once every 1 or 2 years. We prioritize or realize that, we already did a few of these things.
Mhm.
Everybody do your homework.
Yep, do your homework. Jason, will you be able to come back next month?
Yep, absolutely.
Well, I was just wondering, can we get something in motion tonight about getting these sewer lines televised? Can we get, have you got set the budget, or can we get
So-
something in motion so we can get some of that done this winter?
Yeah, so I have a couple of quotes that I reached out to a couple of, maybe televising companies, and it's somewhere between $2 and $5 per lineal foot.
$5 a minute.
So.
How many lineal feet do we have?
A lot.
You have over 27,000 feet of sanitary.
I think we should get some hard quotes or talk to some neighboring communities to see if they have the equipment. Sure, come back and present that. Then you got numbers.
Yeah.
Right.
And it maybe we may get a better rate if we say we're gonna do 5% or 10% a year for the next several years, try and lock in a rate.
Well, I guess so, Jason, I mean, if we can, maybe me and Nate can go around some Saturday or something, pick up manholes and see which ones align and which ones aren't. The unlined ones, I would like to get relined,
Right.
or televised anyway.
Televise first, and you got a good
Yeah.
idea what you're up against.
Right. I mean, it'd save a little bit of time on going through, how many thousands of feet you said we had?
So you have over 27,000 feet of sanitary.
Yeah.
Yeah, help you develop a priority list. For sure. Okay, any other questions for Jason? Okay. Okay, thanks for your time, guys.
Want me to stick around for the next two, John?
Sure. Road ratings proposal from Batterman, that should be in the packet.
Yeah, so we presented a proposal, every biennial or every 2 years. The village is responsible for rating their, center line miles. You have just over 6 miles of center line roads in the village. It is due, this is the year to get it, re-rated and certified, through WSDOT. They use a program called PACER for the ratings and Whistler for their, submittal of the information. So our proposal is to come out here, evaluate all of the pavement again, including roads with shoulders and with curb and gutter. And then, create that report and submit it to WSDOT on behalf of the village.
And this is something the state does require.
Yes, it's a requirement by statute to get these ratings in every 2 years.
So it's the 3,300?
3,200, yes.
And has to be accepted within the 30 days?
When are the numbers have to be submitted?
December 15th. It's our standard proposal that says this was, these numbers are good for 30 days.
Well, this was dated September 2nd, that's why I'm asking,
Yeah, I
because it's
already asked
October
Jason that
2nd.
question.
We will accept it after the 30 days.
We should remove that from municipal process.
So do we make a motion to, okay, I'd make a motion to approve, for the pavement ratings with the cost of the $3,300.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion and a second, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Number 22, we had the proposal, to evaluate compost sites. We still don't have any sites really to evaluate, so what I would like to propose that we postpone this until spring, discuss it, let's say, in March or April. It doesn't seem worth time and money right now to spend on that. So just wondering if you guys agree with that, since we were gonna bring that up, back up at this meeting.
I do have a question. When typically, what is the date that the compost site typically opens in the spring?
Oh, that's in the next part of this we're gonna discuss. But yeah, we can set the time, it's a 9-month facility, so we have to have it closed for 3 months.
Okay, but, so when is it closing?
That's what we need to decide and then communicate to.
Okay, okay.
Yep. So is everyone good tabling that study until the spring and then we'll bring it back for discussion? Okay. I'm just gonna move it to April. That sounds good. So we have to close our compost site for 3 months. We just need to pick dates. Do we wanna do it after Christmas so people can put their Christmas trees in? And do we need any kind of signage to state that it's closed? Those are 2 things I was thinking about.
I would think we would need to. Sign it.
I would think so.
Yeah,
Or
I
people
think
are
it
just
has
gonna
to be
keep using
posted.
it.
January, February, March.
And if we decide that tonight, then they can send that information out in the newsletter and people will have that information.
Open back up April first.
Yeah. So
So we should maybe talk about it in March instead of April.
Well, that's why I was asking, because if we're gonna open it up April first, we can't wait until the April board meeting to
Yes.
discuss it, so.
Yeah, that's why I wanna set it tonight.
January first.
I would say January first to March 31st.
We'll leave our Christmas trip till January sixth.
I knew that
You
was
can burn yours
coming.
back there.
We need to anyways.
I knew
Probably the 15th to the 15th, January 15th to March 15th, still 3 months.
That'd be
and then
April
just-
15th.
Oh, yeah, I can't count, sorry.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out too, and then
I
like,
know it's-
how early does it need to be open? Because people wanna start cleaning up in the spring, so.
I think April first is reasonable.
Yeah, so just January, February, March, it's closed.
It's generally still pretty, either snow or it's so mucky out that.
Yeah, and I don't think we need a motion to do that, but I just think if we want to, we can, so it's in the record.
Oh, we should probably take it to the March board meeting then, to talk about it again.
No, we don't need to,
I mean, to, where we're gonna move it to, or we're just gonna.
I'm gonna put that,
Leave it there.
I'm gonna put that to April. I'm just assuming at this point, unless we, I
Leave it
mean,
there for now.
in April, we may come back and say, we only have one site, why would we evaluate?
Sure.
You know, so we really,
No, that's fine.
and that gives us some time, maybe we'll figure something out in the meantime. Or we'll like it where it is.
Something miraculous will happen, somebody will donate us a piece of property.
So I'll make a motion that we close the compost site January 1st to March 31st.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second, any other discussion? We'll need to post some kind of sign there. I'll need to figure that out.
So do we wanna do signage like you were getting, do we want like an official signage made? Is that something to be able to? I don't know what company you use for our other signs.
Not
Sullivan's.
Yeah.
In front of the.
So yeah, if we could get something made.
It'd be pretty easy just to take a chain too, we run a chain. Right across.
Yeah, I think we need to have the dates posted for sure.
So a sign that says.
I would do
closed
it-
January 1st,
yeah.
open.
I mean, to me, that seems like a logical thing from here forward. I mean, there's no sense reinventing the wheel every year.
And open April 1st.
Yes.
It's been suggested that if signage is put up there, that it be issued under that forfeitures would be included if they dump in front of the signs anyways, like they do the grass clippings.
Yeah.
What does the signage say that we had down at the
Does that
other
have that on it?
location? It had something, I know it had the dates on there.
I don't know for sure what it's, I mean, the best we could do is put on and maybe take a picture of it and see what it says, but I mean, I hate to be like, you know, a tyrant, but there are some people that, kind of unless you make it legally clear, you're gonna have offenders.
Yeah, they'll be showing up for Hog Street to dump stuff off.
They got a sign down there, couldn't they take the sign from down there?
I was gonna say, I'm gonna go rip it off. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
see,
it's
but I-
posted down there, I just don't
There's a big sign
remember
down there.
exactly what it says.
So let's see what that says. If that works, great. You know, if we need to see if we can figure out an overlay for it, for the dates to be correct. So, okay. All right, motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Number 23, approval of planning committee, planning commission, I think, recommendation to approve survey of the lot at 314 Edward Street. That's this one, correct? It doesn't show up on this sheet, but the lot line currently goes right through a garage. This would move the lot line over so that the garage is completely within the lot.
So whose lot line is it you're moving?
What?
Whose lot line are you moving? I guess that's what I'm getting out of, you're moving somebody's lot line.
It's where Rainey and them,
Okay.
on Edward Street, so the lot line for the lot next door, that lot next door goes through their house, or through the driveway and garage. So it's given them, whoever lives in that house now, like an additional 6 feet to get the lot line
Yep.
out of the middle of their garage.
And it's a vacant lot right now currently, which is what this is.
Yeah, there's a proposal to build a house
So
on
it's
that
like,
vacant
if they wanna build a house on the vacant lot, but they really need to get the lot line figured out and straightened out. So that's what the question is. So the planning commission recommended it, they approved it. We just need to approve it for board members.
I'll make a motion to approve the movement of the lot.
John, should it be brought up that at our meeting, it made that lot smaller than ordinance provides for
For the new house,
the new house?
yes, it did do that.
So doesn't there have to be something done?
That's the next item.
That's the next item up. Yeah, there is a complicating factor.
John, is this something that you would like us to take a look at as well in the future?
I don't think we need to look at this piece of it, but
You're just doing an adjustment
Mhm.
between two.
we're just doing
houses.
a 6-foot adjustment.
They did that all along Main Street, but I built my garage.
There's probably, the
There's-
next property
there's
to the
some
north has an
wonky
issue like
lot
that too.
lines over there.
Yeah, that affected me, Nancy, this one, Mona, and Curry, they all got free rent too.
I'll second it.
So motion is second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Yep, David's there. He's still there, aren't you, David?
Yep.
Okay, so then the zoning commission, made a motion to approve the building permit here that you have, it's this drawing. There are some minimums, like minimum lot size, minimum, size of a house, but this house kind of will match just about everything along that section of Edward Street, so it won't look out of place. And if you've ever been someplace where it looks like some house got thrown into a section that looks like it does not belong, that will not be true. But however, the planning commission was willing to allow the variation in the size and give a variance for that, so long as the garage is attached. That was the caveat, because that's in the ordinances that the garages have to be attached. So that's how we'd like to approve it. and it's another water customer, it's more taxable property in the village, so, and right now it's just a lot sitting empty. And this is the lot that gave away that money. If that makes sense.
I would make a motion to approve the building permit for this house at 314 Edgewood.
Motion by Nicole, second by John. Any other discussion?
So the garage has to be attached, correct?
Mhm.
Correct. That is our stipulation, that the garage has to be attached.
They'll be submitting you.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, because in this drawing that has.
Yeah.
Right, so we'll
Yep.
accommodate for the lot being smaller than what the ordinance states, as long as they move the garage to be attached.
All right.
Yep. Sound
I was
good?
a little slow on that one.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Developers agreement, number 25. The reason why this is brought up is Frank and I met with the builder. He had questions. He wanted to know what incentives we were gonna provide. So it sounds like the Economic Development Committee is gonna continue talking about this. They've already done discussion on this. So I'd just like to have a brief discussion on things that we might suggest to them that could be incentives for a builder to come in. Like, would we donate or gift the land for someone to come in and develop? I mean, would we give so much per parcel? I think in the plan you guys had, it was $20,000 per lot. I know Orfordville said they were doing 6,900 for a subdivision over there. Dennisburg has said that new one that's going in. But for someone to come in and do all the water and sewer and road work, it would be to our benefit to provide some kind of incentives. Those incentives would come either from the land, which would cost us nothing because we own it, or from the tax district base, and we'd have to put some kind of stipulation that so many houses would be built before any money would be transferred to the developer. Or if you have some other idea that we should consider.
I think the biggest incentive is if we are, I would say the sale of lots, anything that's 20,000 or less is going to be a huge incentive for them. I guess it would really be a matter of determining exactly what that dollar amount would be. But I would think that that's gonna be one of the biggest incentives.
Yeah, and for instance, like if we give them the land, that doesn't cost us anything, but what is that worth?
$11,500 an acre.
Yeah, so that would be part of the value. Would we add anything to that? But to me, in my thinking, the land is the least expensive way to provide incentive for that. But we should also, I think to Frank's point that he made in meetings before, we should have a clawback provision that if the developer does not develop the land, that we can reclaim the land.
We talked
So-
about that.
So we are not just
We'd have to do that.
giving it away with no strings attached. There has to be some kind of protection to the village to make sure that land gets developed.
The good news is people are interested.
Yes.
That's the good news. So it's
So would there be a time
well
stamp?
thought through agreement that protects the village should be a good thing.
Yeah, maybe there's a time
Stipulation on the
Stipulation.
payback, or for development to be completed? Or
What was the
is-
first part of your question?
Is there a time stipulation? If you want the stipulation put in, that would, we would be able to reclaim the land, and I understand that, and I agree with that. But would there be a time stipulation? Because otherwise,
You would have to put a time on it.
how would you enforce it?
Yeah, but I think,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, maybe you could even do kind of a timeline of, development needs to start by the said date, and it needs to be completed by said date, and, once that final date comes, if it's not completed,
It's really whatever the village and the developer agree to, but I think John wants to bring it up so everybody can start thinking of what it can be done any number of ways. That, you're kind of in the driver's seat and that people want something from you, so you can stipulate how you give it to them. And, something as simple as a house has to be built on within 3 years. Otherwise, we get the land back. It gets a little confusing because you're given a blank land and they're gonna plat it, but you can add in the agreement that we'll have the right to get the platted lot back. So it's whatever you agree to, so it'll be a little bit of a back and forth once you decide who you're gonna negotiate with.
Right. Well, it's like the covenants, I mean, we have the ability to reclaim that too, but if we don't have a time limitation or some specification in there, it's willy-nilly when you can reclaim.
Exactly.
So.
When I built.
And I'm
I had
hoping we don't
time.
have to do that, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, we've talked a lot about these things in the economic development meeting already, and Al Hewitt is great, he gets really good ideas and to help us too.
And then, so who draws up the agreement then? Is it?
Ultimately, the village board would draw the agreement up and approve it. It would be what we decide, but we can delegate that task to other groups to prepare that, and then we review, change, and then, so.
Yeah, you put the onus on the developer to pay his attorney.
Right.
So we agreement together that we then review.
Okay.
Yeah. But we just need a good list of things we need, and really right now, the questions that are being asked by builders are what incentives are there?
Right.
So like, is land going to be an incentive? Is there per lot value, like if we say each one of those lots, they're worth something, even though the land's worth so much per acre. When you subdivide that into plats, then each one of those lots that a house would go in is also worth a certain dollar amount. So is that worth $10,000 for every lot that they have to build on, that they don't have to buy or spend money on?
And if you go the route of, an incentive per lot, you just need to make sure that, the revenue of the TIF, you're not giving away too much.
So that's why I think what Al's talked about is that maybe you put a stipulation that so many houses have to be completed before any incentive dollars get paid.
Good problems to have.
So should we all just come up with a think tank and give up our own list and bring it back to the board next month, or?
We can if you want to. I mean, quite honestly, the builder that we talked to, I don't think there's any way he'd be, turning ground next year. If he is, it's probably, sewer and water, those kind of things.
You're looking to give us time for a month. Everybody got their own ideas, bring it to the board next month.
Good idea.
Is there I'm not for this, but whatever, it's what it's gonna happen.
I'm not either.
Is there a way that we can control, like, instead of having a quarter-acre lot, you have to have at least a 0.45 acre lot? I just don't want cookie-cutter houses going up, I think that's crappy, and that's not what the village.
That's what we talk about all the time, we do not want that. We
I
want
would
large
follow what your
lots.
current zoning is. To answer your question, probably yes, if that's what the board decides. And you get a developer to agree to.
And like what Batterman kind of drew as a initial, let's think about it this way, like the lots on the south end would probably be smaller. So would those be smaller sizes houses like 1,200 square foot homes? Is that look like they fit better on that lot, like you're saying, Nate. And then the ones to the north might be a little bit bigger expectation, like those are 1,400 square foot homes that look like they fit a little bit better on the lots up there. Would we say, you know, we'd like to see this section developed and then this section, like we wanna see these 8 to 10 lots in the south developed first, and then see these other lots developed second, or the developer can pick one of those two, but it's like, the questions they're asking is, what incentive do I have to come and do this?
Hopefully we'll have more developers.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been contacted by at least 3 builders, and Frank and I met with them.
I did not go to the board meeting for Plymouth, but they are looking at a subdivision up by the golf course. Have crafts.
The whole backside, yeah.
What's that?
The whole backside behind your house.
Yep, yep,
Up north of the golf course on the west side, right?
yep, up to the church.
Yeah.
Hole number 7 across the fence.
Yep.
Yep. Just a little. So everybody's,
Everybody's thinking
getting
about
in the
it.
mood and.
Right, so I'll put this on next month's agenda. Number 26, public hearings and budget committee dates to work on 2026 budget proposals. Thank you guys for your time.
Thanks, guys.
I think we had set dates for this.
They had a.
Did you verify those dates? Can you give me those dates?
I'm on my way back from Iowa on the 13th. I don't know if I'm gonna be back by 1 o'clock or not.
The 13th and the 15th is.
15th for sure.
Brent and Travis will be there.
When is it?
October 13th and 15th,
Both
on
of
Monday
them.
and
Both at 1
Wednesday,
o'clock.
both at 1 o'clock.
So when's the November for you?
The 6th.
6.
And we have to have the budget posted, what, 15 days ahead of
before
time?
we approve it. I think it can be posted the 22nd of October.
Okay. So the 15th works for you, John?
For sure.
For sure, okay, you can call.
Just the 15th?
They wanted to meet both the 13th and the 15th.
Yeah, I can do both of those.
So do we wanna go ahead with that? Like, do you wanna call in if we're doing that, or?
I'll be driving on the way back, so.
Yeah. Probably with bad cell service, coming back from Iowa.
Somewhere in the middle of Iowa, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I've driven that a lot. So. Did they offer any other dates, Casey? Do you wanna leave the 13th as a tentative date and see if we could go maybe that Friday?
Yeah.
Maybe the 17th?
But if that can't be, I'll do my best to get back on time if I'm not here. Can you guys do it too?
We can, yeah, we could.
Just make sure I get a packet.
Yep.
Working on the 15th.
Yeah.
I don't think we have an alternate, but any of you can attend that meeting?
There you go, Neil.
Casey did come.
There you go, Neil. Tend it for me.
Right,
That way I ain't gotta speed and get pulled over.
Yeah, I think there were just 3 of us on the finance.
Okay, so we're gonna leave it for the 13th.
Yeah, let's just leave it for the 13th and 15th since Brent can do that. And then John can ask all the questions he has.
Well, hopefully I'll be back.
15th, yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So October 13 and 15, those meetings will take place. And as soon as you want to put out a notice for that, so people are aware of it. So, okay. Number 27, John's disposal contract renewal.
Make a motion to approve the dollar increase amount.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Accurate appraisal.
I don't think they're very accurate. I've had a lot of complaints from residents. I'd like to find somebody else.
I wouldn't mind trying somebody else.
I don't care. Yeah, I've had a lot of people complain to me too.
I'll make a motion to find somebody else for appraisals.
Do we have to have like a set time? You know, like, or is their contract up at the end of this month, or is it like December, or January to January? This is the next 5 years.
Yep.
Well,
you
it
have
looks
to
like
do it
this
every
takes
5 years.
effect in twenty-six.
Okay, so you do, oh.
I'm
that's-
assuming
okay.
26 to 29, so I would say that,
January first.
yeah, I would say we need to find somebody by January
Or they
first.
would appraise any, like, houses or improvements or things like that. I would think.
I don't know if Pillar to Post would be one to try contact them. I know they do James, I'm pretty sure they do Janesville Township. Not 100% sure. I think I've heard that here before. Yeah, I've had a lot of people, accurate, not very accurate.
Who does Orford use?
I don't know. Maybe another.
Check with that.
Yeah.
It should be on the website. I mean, it should be on all the town's websites, if you want to look around and look.
At least find some other options.
So let's just table this till next month. Number 29, underground construction ordinance. Do you guys have any other things? I haven't sent anything off to the lawyer. Want to give you a month to review that. Like, do we want a permit fee? What would that fee amount be? Do we want a penalty fee? I think Orford Bells for a permit was $25, the penalty was $75. So if you want something like that, I think that's appropriate to make them fill out a permit.
I think that we could, structure our site for the bill with the 25, 75.
Sound good?
Yep.
And you got that, what, $10,000?
Yep, you're gonna change that. If that's damage to streets, but, for the village to be named as additionally insured by someone that comes in and does work. You wanna make sure that's in there, correct?
So we're not stuck with it.
Yep, so if they damage something, it's not us fixing it. Another question I had, I know we've talked about the main lines being 3 foot deep, but what about the service lines from the main? I know Orfordville or Broadhead stipulated that it was like between 8 and 12 inches. I think some of the service lines are a lot. Like Sandy's had one that was coming up in her yard, and she was mowing over it, removing it, you know, so I'd like to stipulate the depth on those, so.
At least a minimum of 6 inches, probably, at least.
Deeper than, and after a few years of frost, they're gonna be coming up. That's true.
So like, would we go 12 inches?
Yeah.
Is that reasonable, you think?
Yep.
Most of them.
Sixes.
Inches or whatever, I think they go up to 3 foot.
Yeah, for the main lines, we want them to go 3 foot. But when they're coming up and out to a house or to a business, which is.
Or just laying across the backyard like that.
Yeah, like, well, we got that issue that we'll deal with here soon up in Hobberdale, so.
They're gonna be required to fill them back in and reseed, are they not?
Yes, they should repair,
Okay,
but that's
that
a good
should be
thing
in
that we
that.
can stay in there.
Yeah, that's a
should
good
be in
point,
there.
Looks
because
like
that
Janesville's
doesn't
having
get
the same
done.
No, it doesn't get done, and even if they do, my experience has not been good with them, even when you say you're gonna fill that in, yeah, not good.
I think Janesville had the same problem, JR.
Mhm.
Somebody, this year I'd seen it on Facebook or somewhere.
Mhm.
They were really upset
Yeah.
about not coming back and finishing.
I know Ruth Coker wasn't happy about what they did on Hobberdale, but she's like, at least they repaired the ground well. So. Okay, so reseed to whose satisfaction?
homeowners.
Homeowners?
Or the property owners.
Okay. And then the other one that I thought of was who approves the plans? Is it the DPW director, village board, or president, combination of those, someone else?
I'd say at minimum, Mike, because you figure if it's an emergency, they should at least just be able to get in and get the job done.
Yeah.
But if they know they're gonna come to town a month before, I think they should get a hold of Mike anyway, obviously get a hold of Mike anyway. We should discuss it with somebody,
Yeah.
you know.
They can just roll in and start drilling.
Yeah, they, you know, at least we should have some warning that they're coming to town.
Yeah. And I think in those cases, when it's planned, to have someone do that with Mike protects Mike.
Yep. And if they give us a 30-day notice, we can do it with the board, but if they give us a 2-week notice, we might have to just hop in with Mike and, okay, this is what they're gonna do.
So do we wanna stipulate village president and or board?
Yep.
Can we do it that way? Anything else you thought of before I talk to Tim again?
Yeah, so when you were saying it's a $75 fine if they don't go through the permit process, that's what Rockerville does, correct?
Mhm.
I would not be against upping that.
I'm okay.
I
with
would
that.
say $500 if we start doing it without a permit. Because we're gonna have another sinkhole possibly, then, you know, it's gonna cost us even more money.
It's true. 75 is minimal.
It is, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
somebody might say $75, all right, we'll
Yeah.
take it, you know,
Yeah.
but you get to a little bit more, and maybe they'll think twice about it. If it's not good enough.
I don't care what it
I thought
is.
250 or.
The other caveat, I think, in that, and it may be in what Tim sent, is that if they start going without a permit, we can stop them
Job done.
until they take the steps that are necessary to get the approval that they need, especially if it's been planned for a while. So,
$25 for a permit seems very low to me for this kind of activity.
yeah,
Because you have a transient vendor that wants to go door to door and sell, they pay $25 a day for their permits.
yeah.
So this seems really low for a contractor to come in here and start digging around.
Yeah, with the WMCA, we had a couple of villages that said they keep it low, it's mainly about just making, responsible, letting us know what's going on,
Yeah,
so we don't.
it's to have control over it.
Yeah, but it's around $25 fees of $25 a day.
25 to 250?
Sound good? I'm
Sounds
good
good.
with that.
Yeah, like you said, I think at 75 is the.
Yeah, they might just thumb on their nose at us.
Right.
You know.
They can't see for all this. Just saying.
Okay, anything else? Okay, number 30, police department hiring status. Do we wanna set a HHR meeting or special board meeting to review those
So-
resumes? And I know you have an issue that you wanted to
Yeah, I
address.
want to, reach out to the WileyNet and see if we can reopen, cause they had to apply by Tuesday, the 30th. Then we received the emailed, resume, so I'd like to open it back up. I'll reach out to them and see if we can open it back up for 5 days, whatever it takes, just to have him submit his application through the website. And then, yeah, we can schedule an HHR meeting to review.
Do we need to do it with the police commission too, or you talked about that, or just HHR?
It's just through the HHR right now.
Yeah, we can do an HHR meeting, we could do all this. If you want HHR to make a recommendation, and anyone can attend that. What would you prefer?
I thought we said last time, everybody was used to
I thought it was a board decision, not just HHR.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay either way.
I think we
Yeah,
can.
I think-
Board division.
I think you said that last time.
If we have the board do it, then we can move a little quicker.
So it's my understanding is that once the board has like selected, then we take it to, the police and fire commission for like the final approval.
So you're
The
gonna make
police
it-
and fire committee? 'Cause we have a committee, not a commission. But even if we do, can we schedule that meeting immediately after, if that's what we need to do? Cause that would be what, if we've already approved it, that's like a 5-minute meeting. We could just notice close. Would that address that issue, do you think?
I think so.
Okay.
So you're gonna extend it for 5 days?
Yeah, I think just 5 days and, in the off chance that even there was somebody else that applied, but if nothing else, we have 3 candidates then. But just so that he has an opportunity to apply through the website.
What about Thursday, the 16th, as a meeting date to review these? Is that bad for you?
If I'm leaving the 13th, I'm also leaving work on the 14th and then the 15th.
The 16th would be in the evening.
Yeah, I mean, it might work.
I'm leaving work too.
I won't be here the 16th, that's Lily's conference, cross country meet, that's 2.5 hours.
Definitely, definitely more work.
Join us
It's just
delay
hard
to
for me
next
to get
Tuesday.
out of work early
So it's not all in the same
these
week?
days.
So what's that next Tuesday? Not the 7th, not the 14th, 21st?
Maybe the 21st.
Everybody check your calendars, let Stacy know.
Kristen's got my calendar.
Yep.
It's a Tuesday, but I'll make it work.
Yep. That's at 6 o'clock. That may be a fire commission meeting too, but if it is, I'll skip that. Anything else on that one?
I'm so sorry, you said 6 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, number 31 then. Employees enrollment into the Wisconsin retirement system. This is requested to be on this agenda. So,
If we want to start this, the paperwork has to be in writing.
Let's do it.
I need to know.
Do it.
I gotta get on the board.
I'll make a motion to approve it to be processed before November 15th.
and second me.
Yep.
Okay. Nate? You know, come back on
If all the employees are okay with it.
I don't-
I don't wanna force you into something that you
I
don't
don't
want.
see why they wouldn't do it.
It's the best retirement system in the nation.
I was in it for 20 years.
I'm
So
still
can you
in it.
continue in it? So you
Yeah.
get credits and then add to,
Yeah.
that's cool. Did you have that one at the school? So Danielle, we have a motion and a second to sign the employees up for Wisconsin retirement system. Do you have any discussion about that? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Number 32, set trick or treat hours, that has been 4 to 7 PM in the past. Are we good with that again?
That's exactly what I put down.
All right. Do we need a motion or just consensus. That's good. Good.
John,
Word is up.
can we back up? If we are under contract with Empowered, which was, the previous retirement plan, do we also have approval to cancel that?
I think so.
Does that end
Once this is-
December 31st?
I don't know, I'll have to look, I'm not even sure. I just know that we keep getting reports, so I presume we're still under contract.
Yeah, I would make sure that
Okay.
if it's, I'm assuming it's a yearly contract.
I don't know. I don't know. It was in place when I got here.
Yeah, cause I don't know is that they can, I don't know is that for retirement that they can lock you into a program for more than.
But I think you're considered active as long as we have not current employees, but past employees that still have funds there. And it's associated with us, because one of them wanted to take funds out, we got a report, had to fill things out so that
Mhm.
person could withdraw. So just let me check into it and see, what it's gonna take so that we make sure we do this legally. But I just wanna make sure it's approved to go
Yep.
ahead with that, okay?
We can, let's put that on the agenda for that meeting where we're talking about the police department.
Okay.
Will that give you enough time, Tina?
Yeah, I hope so, yeah.
Okay.
Wait, when's your meeting?
21st.
Yeah, that's your, yeah.
And I'm sorry, what is the name of the company?
It goes under
Empower?
Empowered, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure there's more to it than that, but there's a lot of things from that era that are, it just goes by Empowered, that's what the report says,
Okay.
so.
Alright. Okay. 33, repair of damaged upper grandstand.
So the Parks Committee, we've talked about that before, that the hole up on the upper part of the grandstand, but it wasn't too bad yet. But Chuck Duncan and I were there the other day, and it's big, like a kid could go right through it.
That hole?
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
yeah, I saw that.
So Chuck said, as usual, that he will fix it, he will bring his grandsons.
His grandsons will fix it.
Yes, the grandsons.
And, we looked on the other side, so he wants to put, blue metal, siding, just like it'll match the other side, because evidently that happened over there too, but you don't really notice, so. So that should make it look a lot nicer and safer, so he said that the siding should cost about $300, and then they'll just put it up. And we talked, the committee, if you want that to come out of our Parks Fund, we can, so, or the village, whichever.
Yeah, village should pay for it.
Yes.
So let's allocate an extra $100 in case there's other expenses he runs into, so we don't have to come back and talk about it. Yep, someone make a motion for it?
I'll make a motion $400 for the fixing of grandstand.
Okay, Second?
Second.
Okay. Motion and a second, any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 34, Fall Flowers, I think that's you, Danielle?
Yep, that time of year again, we want to put the fall flowers in for the Veterans Park, the community park, and we'd like to put it in downtown also. We just need permission to take the money out of the fundraiser fund. Well, the Veterans Park, I would assume we should divide it up, so that is correct. So, and then, we also want to decorate the new lamp posts with, fall things, the corn stalks, and Stacy said that she's gonna donate the corn stalks if it gets approved. And then I might as well just go on to say at Christmas, we would like to do the same thing, so.
Christmas.
Something different.
Christmas, Kristen and I donate to the veterans, but,
Yes, thank you. So then, at that time, I don't think we'll decorate all downtown and all that, I think we'll just do the posts, we'll put some, you know,
Like a
red
wreath or
ribbon,
something.
yeah, or a wreath on it, yeah, maybe light it.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, so,
Do we have dollar amounts? Estimates, guesses?
guesses, well,
You know what you spent
I'm
last
gonna
year?
guess big, I'm gonna say $500 out of our
No, I mean, you're just covered that way,
Yeah,
you
just,
know.
yeah, covered that way.
Yeah.
So that, will that come
Well,
out?
actually, we
that'll
would
come out of
say-
separate funds, correct?
Yeah, that's not the village, that's our, it would be the veterans park, that would be,
And then
and
the
then the
park
park
fund.
fund, so we would divide it, yeah.
Okay.
I'd make a motion to approve the 500 for the fall flowers and decoration. Or do you wanna include the Christmas of
I was gonna say, can we just do it
Yeah,
all?
let's just do it, so that, yeah.
Will $500 stick each other right here?
With the Christmas, let's say 1,000, and we probably won't spend.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That we would,
Okay. $1,000.
And I'll second it.
Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. Number 35, rolling on holding out hope. Tree trimming in the village. So-
I haven't got to work on that. I'm gonna go around. I did get hold of one person, that said he might be interested in coming around doing some, but I don't believe he's licensed and insured. He's just somebody starting up. And did you dare go with him if he's not licensed and insured?
They need to be licensed and
That's what I'm
insured.
thinking.
Because that could be a big expense for us.
Exactly. So I want to check with him for sure on that.
Yep.
He's gonna go around tomorrow and write down addresses.
Is this something we could include in our fall newsletter if someone is interested in that? Please contact the village office.
Oh, we probably could, with our mail services, but they might get it
I
at,
know,
you
they
know,
might get it in
Valentine's Day,
January,
but, yeah. Truly, I mailed them out myself, I know when they were mailed, and I got mine a week ago on Saturday, or was it 2 weeks now?
I don't remember.
The June and July one, I mailed them out the first week of July, it showed up at my house 2 weeks ago on a Saturday.
The summer one.
I thought it was something for Joe, but he got complaints from others. Yeah.
Bulk mailing for the post office for us leaves here, I think goes to Milwaukee.
Yeah, it all goes to Milwaukee now.
And then the problem with bulk mail is the post office is not under any obligation to deliver it, except at their convenience.
And they didn't. Everything was history by the time I got my newsletter, I can tell you that.
We need to hire a paper boy.
Yeah, yeah.
Or a carrier
Johnny?
pigeon, carrier pigeons,
I've done
just
that.
send them out.
Good paper.
So I went and got addresses, or just, addresses, brought up here, would be able to send a letter to some.
Sure.
Would that be too much? I mean, there's, I know of probably 12, 15, maybe 20 places.
Well, as long as we have the addresses of them, I mean, letters could go out, that isn't that big a deal. It's something the village could do.
I mean, it's according to ordinance. I mean,
Right.
They can have the
That's what I
option of
mean.
doing it, or if they don't wanna do it, we'll do it, and we'll charge you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, the village can do it, you know, I mean, do we have legal recourse if they come back and go, that's astronomical and I'm not paying that?
Goes
Yeah,
on
or
the
do we
tax
have the
bill.
ability to assess them?
You can just.
Well,
put
that's
it
why
on the
that's
tax
what we
bill.
do, what I'm
We can do
doing.
special assessments to their taxes, so we're covered.
Yeah. Would be, if I could get, what I wanna do would be a lot cheaper per person, to have it all done. Instead of them pay, each one of them paying $300-400 for a guy to come in from one branch. Or,
You know, just food for thought, I don't know how far it would go.
Cause some of them was just one branch, you know,
When we first moved in here, my yard was riddled with trees, and they were not well trees, they were not healthy trees. And Tree Wiseman came in here, and between myself and Phyllis and I think Stacy too. Anyways, they worked with all three of us because we were all right close together. So just food for thought, I'm not, you know.
I can get a hold of them and see
They
if
might, if there were a number of people in
they
the
can come
village,
and get all knocked out
they,
in a
right,
day or
they might
two.
be able to come down and knock them out in a day or two. Just food for thought.
I'll ask Brenda Ewing to, I think she had someone come in, take a tree out of her yard. Brenda Ewing, she's on Church Court, Bucksmore.
Okay.
And they have piles of equipment. I mean, it looked like they were gonna take down the forest. fence.
Yeah, as long as they're licensed and certified, that's why I brought up True Island, but whoever, if they can get a better price.
Yeah. Yeah, I think sending letters would be good. And putting stuff in the newsletter, maybe there's someone that
Right.
goes, hey, I'd like some of that.
They'll say, well, I go up and trim that tree myself, you know, okay.
Yeah.
They're done by November first.
Yeah. Okay. 36, this is just a review item. We approved $2,000 for the demolition of the house, $600 specifically for removal of the roof at the July 3rd board meeting.
Can
That
we-
was to purchase or rent a dumpster. And I think we talked about knocking it down ourselves if I read those meetings.
Yes.
Correct.
Can we get an actual, like, this needs to be done by a certain date?
I'll see if we can get a, at least $600, but you're over the charge, right?
Yeah. Then we put the shingles in with the wood.
Do the shingles have to be recycled?
Their asphalt have to go to separate.
Separate, yeah.
And that's the one thing I've called this management, I've called GFL, I have called PDL, nobody can give me straight.
That's so bad.
So they go in the bottom.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I mean.
But the
I
sooner
hate
the better,
to
I mean.
Say that in public, and you can say it as a village official, but I cannot get a straight answer, and I'm frustrated with not being able to talk to this.
I guess my focus is to get it knocked down because, to keep, you know, keep the kids out of there, let's move forward with turning it into a parking lot in the spring and like actually moving forward. It's been a long time coming and this just
I
needs
think
resolved.
people get irritated when we are asking them to clean things up and then we.
Exactly.
So
I
anyway.
mean, now we got the garage sided, it looks nice, like, let's get rid of the dump, like.
Yeah. So that's the dollar amount, we've already approved it. That's what we can work with.
So what's the plan? Are we?
Can you see if we can get this done by the end of November? At the absolute latest?
We need to get that dumpster done.
40-yard dumpster is what Chuck told me to get.
Yep.
40.
Yeah.
So I guess if you can get a date when this guy's available, then we can go ahead and get things ordered.
Yeah, if we do it on a Saturday, we can probably get more people that have it on a Saturday.
Because the dumpster usually can stay as long as you want it, they don't
Yeah.
charge, so it'd be good to just get it pretty
Those are
soon.
good questions to
So it's
ask.
there.
But he would do it on the weekend anyway.
Yeah.
So then the other question that Chuck and I were talking about, the concrete floor. Are we gonna leave that, or are we gonna tear that out, cause then you're looking at even more money.
I think honestly, you could leave it because being that the ground dips down so far, if we are going to bring in gravel or,
Just cover it up.
I would just cover it up.
I know this sounds crazy, but if we go down to the old compost site and pull some of that gravel and start filling around it and level it out.
It
I
would be
mean,
really
that way it
beneficial
doesn't
to
become
people
a-
that are parking
a
there, to not be
hazard.
on a slope.
Cause if we clean it up and someone falls because we didn't have it level, will they think they can sue us or something like that? Who knows?
First of all, let's get the roof done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the whole yard itself is very uneven, I would just fill it all in with gravel, give it a nice smooth surface to.
Cause if they come in, we're gonna have to dig that up anyway, we can't, just go on top of that. Cause if we're gonna do it right, we're gonna have to dig down 6 inches anyway, 6, 8 inches. Put your rock base down to get it solid, can't put gravel on top of dirt. So that concrete's gonna come out of there anyway. Just to get down there. So we can put a rock base on it.
When you're tearing the concrete out, it gets a little bit more expensive, because then you're gonna get a bigger, I don't know if a mini will be able to, I don't know if Daryl wanna do that, that's a lot of damage, a lot more work with his equipment, than just tearing the roof off.
Yeah. And I can talk to him.
Imagine that slab, is gonna be at least 6, 8 inches
Yeah, but it'll break up, I imagine it's.
There's a lot of cracks in
I was gonna say that a lot of it's broken already.
And if not, we'll have to get, put it up for quotes on Deanna or Trace or somebody come in.
Or when they dig it out, that's part of the bid, is you dig that concrete out and the black topsoil. Yep, we'll get it down. Put stipulation in there with the drink, on the crop, and what we're doing.
Right?
You're gonna have to get a permit for that.
$10 per minute.
Yeah, it'd be a park permit.
That's right.
I'll give you
You get that?
Maybe you should make it one of those stress release places.
Yeah.
Just tell everybody to show up with a sledgehammer and go at it.
$5 a whack.
Yeah, what if they have those
Yeah.
rooms
Yes.
for breaking and
Yep.
stuff, yeah.
Number 37, preliminary discussion on other matters not proposed for board action.
I don't dare talk anymore, so.
Thank you.
Nate?
Yeah, I've got things. So at our other meeting that we had at our wastewater, water, whatever, we're gonna have to look at getting a trash pump. Greg actually got a hold of Nick Todd. Nick Todd is gonna allow us to use corporate bills for this year. So the trains down at the wastewater, there's 3 trains, 3 tanks. Well, in the past, they suck out everything. And the minute when they come back and they suck everything up, they don't have to do that, we're wasting money. If we can pump the clear water from train 1 into train 2, then the power flush comes in and only sucks out the sludge on the bottom, which is all they needed to do. They didn't need to suck out all 120,000 gallons. So if we can pump the clear water from train 1 to train 2, have them come in, suck out the sludge, then pump the clean water from train 2 back into train 1, suck out number 2, and then with 3, it's gonna save us a lot of money. I mean, it's gonna save us a lot of money. So, we're gonna have to get a trash bag.
Do we know the cost on something like that?
$4,500. And that's for a cheap one. I went and I talked to Jack, and I got Brandon's phone number, who's from William Reed. They have them here that are on trailers, and you could use them in manholes, you could use it at the well, at the main influent well. Some of them, like the one that Greg sent us, could suck up to 16 foot. Some of these Vaughn pumps, we could throw them all the way down that wet well, clean them ourselves, and that'd save us $1,200. But you're looking at $700-800 for upfront cost, and that's not including the hoses. But Nick was nice enough to allow us to borrow Orfordville's. I don't think we should have to rely on Orfordville. I think we can use it, there's way more uses that we can use it for than just once a week too. So that's gonna be something we're gonna have to look into. What was the second? Oh. So when I was down at my conference, I talked to Poly Processing. These are permanent chemical solution tanks. They are double walled, so we do not have to have spill containers. We're gonna have to look at buying one of these during that, because this is only temporary, it's only good for 18 months, so we have to do something permanent. This is a cheap, affordable option. Then we don't have to build a big house to store it. And you can get them where they're heated, so you don't have to worry about your chemical freezing. And it's cheap, it's not cheap, but it's cheaper than building a building. So that's something else we can look into. And then when I talked to Jason, I wish he was still here, but I went and looked at screens, pre-treatment screens for the wastewater sewer plant, and here are some options. He put in the budget $700,000. It's not close. And we're looking at $1.5 million for a good screen. So there's that. Last thing. Would it be wrong for me to print up letters I go to the post office at 6 o'clock in the morning when I leave for work. Every morning, there are 4 vehicles parked in front of the post office. I'm gonna start putting letters on vehicles saying, no parking from 2 AM to 6 PM, or 6 AM. It's a nice reminder letter, not to be mean about it, but once the snow flies, they gotta learn that they can't park on the street, because otherwise our guys are.
Yeah, they're
So
not
do
gonna be able
you-
to follow.
my thing is, I think the letters need to come from the village. If they can put the letter together, and then if you wanna
Yeah,
place
I'll put them on the windshield.
but they need to come from the village,
Okay.
not
I was
you.
just gonna be a mean citizen saying, working on because I know.
No, but it
it's-
wouldn't be wrong for the village to do that.
It's gonna happen, I know
Do
it's
you want me to
gonna
mail
happen.
them to the property owners, also the landlords?
See, and that's just it, how long is Jason gonna be around for to give them to his tenants? Cause he's a land, he's the property, only have 2 of them, and the rumor that I heard is he's moving. So.
He
But I
still
think-
owns them all.
Yeah, that's true, he takes the loans in. Because that's my worry, is during the winter time, they're just gonna be in the habit of, oh, I'm gonna park right in front, and then it's gonna snow, and our guys are just be out plowing at 5 o'clock in the morning, and.
That's the main thing for having that no parking down there, is the winter time.
Now, I want to be the devil's advocate and say, I always wondered why you can't park down there during the summer. Why doesn't it say winter
Right, it should have it.
times anyway?
Yep.
So, I mean, that's what other places are. I always wondered, why can't you park down there in summer? in the
Yeah, from
morning?
this
Well,
month to that
it
month.
gets to the point where Jason has how many rentals down there? And each of them have 2 or 3 units. Now, each one of them have 2 or 3 cars
Yeah.
per unit. There is no parking.
It is
lot.
nice to have it open, I do
There's
agree,
no
but I
business
just always
parking.
wondered why.
If they come out and they park 3 cars there for that apartment, they don't move for a week. They'll sit there all week. Won't move. There's no room for any businesses down there. Jason Mills is taking over downtown with his apartments.
Right.
It's bullshit.
Well, and it isn't our ordinance that any apartment or, I thought, house has to have off-street parking.
They all do.
And that's why he built the garage around the corner, but he also charged that big garage. But
And that was my thing, because I'd like to get on top of it before the snow flies, that just give these people a heads up, say,
Yep.
hey, you can't park here, because when the snow flies.
So let's add the letter to our 21st meeting, so any resignation. And that comes from the village.
And I think that's all I have.
John?
Yeah, I have one thing. Cubs win.
Cubs.
They play the Brewers Saturday, so go Cubs.
I'm going to
That'll
come
be fun.
Bunch of it, a little
It's a Harmony thing.
Yeah.
Cubs and the Brewers,
Roland?
it's great.
With that leaf blower coming up, me and Steve were talking last year, we did all the leaf cleanup. And we was talking about getting some hydraulic hoses made, so we don't have to hook and unhook that wagon. We should be able to get a hydraulic hose made up, where it can run up and go down to the front of the loader. And use that loader, wouldn't have to unhook, hook. Be able to run hoses up,
Save a
one
lot
or
of
the other,
time, in other
save a
words.
lot of time. And Steve was saying he gets $20 a load now for compost. We take leaves up there, it's $30
Bigger wagon.
per wagon.
We need to put that on that next agenda.
So,
They just ran your tubes and hoses.
well, yeah, that's why he has tubes and hoses, but now,
Well,
Steve was
tubes
saying
and
there's a
hoses,
place
that's
over in
expensive.
Broadhead, Martin's Automotive.
Martin's
They do it.
Repair.
Martin's Repair.
Gonna be half the price.
They
Yeah.
said he'd be half the prices, tubes and hoses, so I'd like to try that.
Do you have an idea of what you'd like to get, Roland? I'm just thinking if you had a dollar amount.
I don't know. Steve, How do hydraulic hoses usually run? What would you think would be,
Half-inch hose, probably double wire, $4 to $5 a foot.
you would think then?
Plus your ends.
Fittings are gonna be more expensive.
Well, can you get like $1, like, figure out what it'll cost, and
That
then
would
we'll
be
have
some
it for the
measure.
next meeting.
And go ask them, see if the ends would
Yeah.
cost, what it costs. Yeah.
Just give us a good estimate.
We're probably gonna be needing that leaf blower at the end of this month, it's gonna be before the next board meeting.
Right.
But we're usually done,
Yeah. So
done
we can
bleed
address
by
that
Thanksgiving.
You're gonna have to hook it up to measure everything out.
Yeah. You're gonna have to measure,
Yeah.
hook the wagon up, see what part of them hoses reach up to around them to get to the front of the loader.
You could probably go farm and fleet and get a guesstimate on what flat face couplers would be. So, but just talk to Martin, still
So
does.
that's just something to come up, we're gonna save a lot of time.
Yeah, makes sense. Anything else? Nicole?
36 was mine, so.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, David's here.
David, are you still there?
Oh yeah, David?
Yeah, I'm still here.
You got anything for us?
I got nothing.
Okay. So, two things, Nick Tosh from Orfordville called. I don't know if he sent you an email yet. They're replacing their curb painting machine, so he's gonna send over a proposal, he was thinking $1,500, he was like, do you guys want it? So,
That's what, no?
the curb painting machine that we borrowed in the past.
Brush. Is that the back?
Hmm?
No, it's not the back.
No, it's just a curb painting.
Oh, paint.
Yeah, curb painting, so.
Yeah, grab it. You need it.
You know, they were gonna put it on Marketplace, you know, like, they'd offer it to us for.
Wisconsin surplus.
Wisconsin surplus. So, he's gonna.
Borrowed it before, that's what it
Yeah,
is.
we have, and I got a feeling we got some curbs that probably get painted, especially where hydrants are at.
That'll be cheaper than hiring somebody.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, so put that on the agenda, he's gonna send the thing. The other thing is, we have a vacancy in the fire commission. There's a gentleman in town, his name is Tom Ragnar. He used to be a fire chief down in Illinois, in the Rockford area. And I'd like to appoint him to that position, so if that needs to be an agenda item, then we just need to put it on the 21st agenda. So I can appoint according to ordinance. I don't know what your preference is, yes,
I forgot to bring up, we had talked at the planning commission about Ricky Temple and renting that old gas station out of the department. We talked about getting an inspector to come in and inspect it, and put the kibosh on that. Cause that one guy was dead in there for 2 or 3 days before anybody found him.
Right. Yeah.
It's that zoned residential. No,
Right.
it's not residential.
Yeah, I think we could address that with a letter.
Okay.
Just a reminder, does that sound appropriate to?
Just a thought, I know when I've been other places and parking, oftentimes there are signs if there are multiple businesses in the same area that say parking reserved for, parking reserved for. Would that help downtown at all?
Sort of, and then you couldn't park, doesn't help in front of the post
Yeah,
office,
not-
you park there for the bar.
Parking reserved for businesses only, I guess.
So you could do it for like certain hours, I would think.
Well, between business hours, I mean,
Right.
if it's for
Yeah.
Total Cap, it'd be till 2 AM in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, so, and, I mean, not that we could, but we could, do it, you know, vehicle could be maybe towed at owner's expense. Maybe that would help, just a thought.
No.
I don't know, everybody's kind of above the law.
I don't want that. There's no good way.
They just kind of do what they want.
What I say is it's stiff. I think that's the main thing, we need to get rid of some of the old junk houses down there and make a parking lot. It's stiff, I know there's one that needs to be condemned down there.
I think Jason wants this all cheap.
If we
Yeah.
condemn it, if we condemn it, he'll sell it cheap.
Yeah.
I got pictures on my phone of that basement,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Somebody had to do it.
See you, Dave.
Thanks,
You're the right man for it.
Yeah, there you
I was trying to push it to 9 o'clock, John. Make it her own number.
You almost got there, Lynn. Thank you, everyone.
There she goes. Seriously good.
Thank you, Stacy.
These upsets.